All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today? 1 second, says Peter. He wants us to hush.
Oh, no, okay, I got it. There was music coming from my computer, and I could not figure out for the life of me where it was coming from. So,
Yeah.
on
All
one of
right,
the
good.
on one of the news tabs I had open, there was like an ad that started to play, and it had music. Anyways,
Yeah, been there,
yeah,
done that.
yeah, it's just weird when you're like, oh my God, now I got to go through every tab. Where is this sound coming from? All right, we're good. Good morning, Carlos. Yeah, I'm doing good. Sitting here inside, trying not to overheat. It is ridiculous. I went to the gym this morning. It was 30
Yeah.
degrees Celsius at 6 a.m. this morning. Like I don't even know what to do that. Like it's
Yeah,
uh,
it was pretty bad.
that, that's
Uh,
not that and if you're in Florida, you're like, yeah, whatever. Like 33 is or 30 degrees is what? Let's see. What is that in Fahrenheit? That is oh my God, what is with this table? I don't know what that is. But anyways, it's too hot for Canada. It's all I'm telling you. Whatever it is. And yeah, it was
yeah.
up to a high of 47 yesterday, apparently. My wife was telling me. So, but yeah, hey, here's an odd fact about Ottawa. Ottawa, Canada, the capital of our nation's capital of Canada, has the highest temperature, or the largest temperature swing of any national capital in the world.
Oh,
We
okay. Did not know
we
that. Fun fact.
Yeah, we typically go from minus 35 to plus 35 in any given year. So there you go.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
I felt like we got pretty close to that this year, man. At the beginning of the year, the beginning of the summer, it was wild, the weather here. So, the beginning of spring, maybe. But nevertheless, friends, welcome. Happy Fights to everyone out there. Happy Fights to our friends over on YouTube. I'm actually not in my YouTube chat yet, so I will head over there in just a second. And welcome. My scanners, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I broke them. I think I broke my scanners here, trading terminal. So they're not loading up for me just yet. So we'll come back and refresh them in just a bit. But I had them, I thought I had them earlier. So not sure what I did. I broke something. But we'll come back to that. Peter, let's head over to our U.S. economic calendar on what's going on for today.
Yeah, relatively quiet day. We got a couple things that I'm keeping an eye on. First, the Case-Shiller Home Price Index. Supposed to be up about 4%. We'll see if that happens. That's at 9:15. We have a Fed speaker. Doesn't normally speak. I don't normally see the name Hammock on things. So anyways, the big speech, though, is happening at 10 when Powell testifies to the House Financial Services Committee. So that may, I assume, somewhere like a C-SPAN type thing. This will be televised or probably on some sort of YouTube. Anyways, I'm not going to be watching it, but that you never know. Sometimes these comments can get the market moving. I would think probably not today, but you never know. So just be aware of it, as well as the consumer confidence number that's coming out at 10. But these are all pretty light market impact events. What is having the bigger market impact is is it a bigger market impact? Anyways, the Iran-Israel war is surprisingly not having a market impact. So, which had the market moving, like you actually had a decent day yesterday. Great trading day for anybody that was in the right stock, especially if you're watching something like Tesla on the way up or HIMS on the way down. There was a couple of trades in there. I mean, I saw some record trades yesterday. Even AMD and Nvidia had some good moves. Excellent opportunity on my 1 to 10 into the close. So just some good trade opportunities. But you had to be very picky about what you were in because there were other
Yeah.
things like Apple, in my opinion, anyways, didn't have a great day yesterday, or at least not a great trading day. It moved, but really hard trade in my opinion. Things like Amazon, again, dropped, Google dropped, Meta dropped off the open, but hard trades to get into unless you were like really paying attention. So, anyways, let's see what we get today. It sets up for good trading today. I'm hoping that yeah, we find a couple things that are moving and just some, our regulars once again give us the opportunity to jump in and make some money.
Yep, absolutely, friends. All right, let's get to it. We'll start a little bit different today, Peter. We'll start with me and you on what you like this morning. I don't have scanners up. If anybody has them and wants to send me a screenshot, we'll take them. But what are you most likely looking at today? What's on your mind so far this morning? I know it's early,
Yeah,
but what's the plan?
I can't get the scanners to work either, so it's not
Okay, so it's
you,
not.
if that's any comfort. But all right. So this whole setup here is confusing me. Hold on, Carlos. We're using this new
Yep.
tool, and it's put little windows on top of things that it looks like I can't move. So I
I know
now have
exactly what you're
to.
talking about. Yep, yep.
All right. So what am I watching? Carnival Cruise Lines. CCL is supposed to have earnings this morning. I have not seen the numbers come out yet. So that is one that I'm keeping an eye on. I think the numbers they're supposed to come out just before the market open. They always do this weird earnings where they release them at 9:15 a.m. So very unusual. Not what most companies do, but Carnival does that consistently. So keep an eye on it. I don't know. I mean, usually if Carnival, if they have big news, right, they're way off their forecasts, or are projecting big differences from what the analysts anticipate, that can move the entire sector. So the sector is really only made up of three stocks we typically watch, right? Carnival, Royal Caribbean, and Norwegian Cruise Lines. So CCL, RCL, and NCHL. Those are the three that I would watch in that sector. But we'll see if anything happens. Other than that, Carlos, I'm seeing a lot of green on the screen. Pretty much everything, right? All the Magnificent Seven. So that would be Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Netflix, Nvidia, and Tesla, all green this morning. PLTR, also green. I think you could pretty much pick any one of those. Tesla is the one that maybe has the most news. On Sunday, they started their ride sharing. Sorry, well, not ride sharing. Their Robotaxi service using the Model Y cars. Very limited. Obviously watching a number of news articles. They were comparing. They're actually farther behind than I thought. I thought Tesla was still pretty much right in the mix there, but I didn't realize like how far behind they are. Where like they're only running this between limited hours and with only 10 cars. And, I saw one, I wish I'd kept the numbers where they were showing projections that by, 2030, at the current rate, Tesla's only slated to have a couple of thousand cars, whereas Waymo's on track to have something like 18,000 cars and giving a 250,000 rides a year. And what is the other one called? Zooks or because Waymo is Google's and then Amazon's got theirs. I always forget what it's called. It's a weird. It's got two O's in it. Is it Zooks? Anyways, whatever their rideshare. I didn't realize it was
Yeah.
even active, but apparently it's already delivering tens of thousands of rides out there. So, anyways, look, there's a bunch of like non. When I say ride, I keep calling it a rideshare, but it's really like autonomous, vehicle driving. I don't know what to call it,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
taxi services.
I think just
So
it's just the name, man, right? I mean, Waymo. I'm sure I can go to tons of people and ask about Waymo. They wouldn't even know what that is, right? Very
yeah, it
limited.
is Zooks.
And then you speak about Tesla, and it's like the world. Everybody's ears perks up, right? So I think it's just the name itself carries so much weight that they're doing it. Somebody could be way ahead of it, and they just don't care. It's like iPhone fans, right?
Yeah.
Samsung could
Well,
be doing something for years, and if iPhone started doing it, oh my God, iPhone did
yeah.
this, and it's just the
He,
branding, the name. Elephant is more elegant. Yeah, I guess so,
yeah.
Ben.
Here's where Tesla has the distinct advantage, though, right? For the other autonomous car companies like Zoox, we did determine it is Zoox. and Waymo, they actually have to manufacture, produce, and deploy vehicles to increase their footprint, right? So the measure of what Tesla can do and how far behind they are is based on that model. However, we have to keep in mind that Tesla has millions of cars already deployed out there, right, in North America alone. And the opportunity is if you own a Tesla, you could sign up for the service and your car will just drive itself out of the driveway one day and go and make you some money. So again, we're talking, it's not exactly what they're saying they're going to do now, but they've hinted that that's could be part of their model, right? Where they could enable, right? They've already, well established they can software enable new functionalities in the existing fleet of vehicles where they could enable that and you could sign up to say, yeah, I'll be a driver or at least a car provider and you say, I'm going to be at home for the next, all night. I'm not going anywhere. And your car just drives
Just
off and goes, picks
nice.
people up and, makes you some money and hopefully comes back without puke in the back seat and,
Oh
and all in
my
one
god. Yeah.
piece.
Oh
But
man.
it's a
Yeah.
cool concept, right? Like to me, that's amazing if that's the case because, it's sort of like passively passive income.
Right.
Again,
Right.
if it comes to pass and
Is
if it
it
actually
more
works.
the reason, Peter, why they have to get it right? Move slow, but you got to get
Right.
it right. You can't mess this up because then it just tarnishes the whole idea. So yeah, you got to get it right. You can't run over anybody for the next couple of years. Just get it right, and even if you move slow, it's going to be a better payout at the end. And I agree. I agree with some of these comments. Like Tesla will scale much faster just because of the reasons you mentioned, Peter. If that does,
Absolutely.
gets
Now,
going. So
now you can imagine. Can you imagine just the legal, the insurance, like? There's so many things to consider that have nothing to do with the actual driving technology, but have to do with the social construct around, somebody's car just leaving their driveway and heading out to do things, right? Like, what condition is the car in? How do they ensure its safety? Who takes responsibility if something happens? Like, there's all these things that, frankly, we don't have systems in place, legal systems, systems. Like, there's so much to consider in that type of model. So, Tesla has a big hurdle to get over, but it's cool, right? It's conceptually cool. And it's one of those things that I think, one of the reasons why Tesla probably showed, that type of strength in launching their Robotaxi, even despite the limited launch it had yesterday. So, anyways, long-winded sort of thing on Tesla. But I found it interesting. I was digging into more and I was watching the reports yesterday to say, yeah, they are really far behind, which everybody was getting on me yesterday because I was just saying they're behind. Their launch is very limited, right? But there are very interesting possibilities as to what could potentially be done. So, anyways, Tesla's in play. Like the stock is in
yeah,
play. Great move yesterday. There's no denying that. And I think today, like again, whether it goes up or down, it's probably going to continue this type of momentum. I would think. So definitely on my list to watch. Other than that, the semiconductor sector, as we know, is always good for some moves. Wasn't actually all that great yesterday, but I did actually like my good buddy AMD. It just had this big spike up in the open, and then it moved from high today to low of day. Biggest move of the day happened, relatively early in the morning. Um, but Nvidia is also in play. I know a few people were talking about SMCI yesterday. It had some sort of interesting moves later on in the morning, early afternoon. So yeah, like Carlos, there's lots of stuff we keep an eye on. What
yeah,
didn't play well yesterday, in my humble opinion, were some of the crypto offerings, Coin, Riot, Mara, MSTR. I mean, there were movement on them, but there was sort of like one move middle of the day that it just didn't signal well for me. So I don't. Yeah, it wasn't good opportunities for me. But hey, if you love it, watch it.
yep.
So yeah, a lot of the usuals going on today.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Peter. All right, so we got Peter's list. I took from that Tesla and AMD. I do like those very much. POTR is another one that we'll look at. How did it do yesterday? Like I had it on here. Did it eventually do something? Yeah, sold off and then came back. All right, so good recovery there. So pure TR could be another one that I'm gonna put on deck here. All right, friends, since I have no gappers list today, we'll go straight to you guys. We'll do it a little bit different this morning. Let's start in our chat. What do you guys like this morning? And we'll go over to YouTube in just a second. Good morning over, guys. So on YouTube, hopefully you guys are doing well. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so already. So all right, let's see here. On our members list, I don't see anything. Just conversation about Tesla, which is always fun.
I
No takers.
I
You
got to
have
give
one
you some
working?
trading credit yesterday,
Yeah.
Carlos, for hymns. If anybody was here with us live, as we were in YouTube yesterday, it was one of those that Carlos was watching all morning. Took a couple of pokes at it. It was just not cooperating, and it was one of those where you know, I still regret that trade heavily because I called it. And I saw it
Yeah.
even earlier than I called it out. And Carlos was like, absolutely. And he jumped right in because, it had a setup and it was the smart move. It doesn't look impressive on the chart here, but it actually gave a fantastic move based on the risk
Yeah.
that you were
Yeah.
undertaking. And I just sat and watched. And I very much regretted that all day. So,
Yeah. This was the move here. It was around I think this is when you called it out on this drop. I think you were watching
yeah.
even through this, but you called it out here. I turned on like, oh, this is perfect. So we took a short here all the way down to Route 43 partial, and then I got out here. I knew like, okay, this is a big move. This can come back, and glad I did, man. Took everything off here, and you can see here the pushback all the way to almost the VWAP. But yeah, man, a great trade. I'm not sure how what's going to do today. It does have some volume, 2.6 million shares traded. It is up 1.6, but I think a second day on a stock like this one, given the
Yeah.
negative news, you're definitely not gonna get the move we did yesterday, and unless something is confirmed with that statement, have they come out with anything else, Peter, saying, hey, that's false, that's not true? If his hasn't come out with something by now, that's even more concerning. Is
Yeah,
it true
and
then?
they haven't. They have not responded, which yeah, is a little bit of a surprise. And their stock seems to be doing fairly well considering. But yeah, if you guys remember, the news yesterday was that Novo Nordisk sort of abruptly and publicly canceled their contract with them, and that it sort of is what took them down. So. I don't know what to expect. I mean, again, I thought that, if they were very upset about it, they would have very quickly come out with a press release and said, "We don't know what they're talking about, right? And we're
Yeah.
angry about it." And like, if, it'd be that type of rhetoric, but they have been silent as far as I can tell.
Yeah,
So,
which is interesting, man. I'm gonna put it on my secondary. I don't expect the
yeah.
same type of day, but I think it's worth having on the secondary list here. Roy over in chat is asking, why is the BB chat empty? It's not. I see a ton of people in here, so make sure you're in the right chat room. But we are in here rocking and rolling. Everybody's throwing out their tickers. Tunde is giving me CRCL. So CRCL, let's take a look here. We are down 7.6, 6.2 million shares traded. Is this thing done? Is it coming back down to reality now? I mean, the pre-market looks very active, Peter. This looks nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one that I know that Jared has been keeping an eye on for us and talking about since it IPO'd a little over 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, maybe now. And yeah, we've had a lot of good conversation about stablecoin and where this thing sits in the market. So it's I don't know what to make of this. It's a great mover ever since it IPO'd. Like it's one of those rare, offerings that just has given good value since it started. So yesterday it had a good move higher, peaked at the top, and actually now that I'm looking at it, good move lower off of that too. I wasn't really watching it midday, but let me go in and see. Was that a trade that I missed? Maybe I need to watch this, cars. Oh my goodness, look at that. That is like a
That
brilliant
is
mountain
Mountain
pass.
Pass
Yeah, look, I mean look at
galore.
that. That's a mountain right there. I mean, you can't mistake that one. Anyways, yeah, good trade. So, yeah, maybe I should be watching this more. Thank you for mentioning it. I'm going to put it on my list.
Yep. And we have shares for short, only 75,000, but I think it's might be worth putting on the list. I'll put it in a secondary. Again, got to be careful with this one. Very risky stock. It can move a ton. So please be mindful of your shares. So CRCL on deck on the secondary list here this morning. All right, pushing through some of this stuff here. Han King Chang, yeah, with Interactive Brokers, I do see 75,000 shares. And again, that could be gone very quickly, right? So we do have shares for sure for now. We'll see if they stick around here. All right, what else? Chewy, CCL we did look at already. Chewy, let's take a look. CHWY. Ooh, I don't like it today. Pre-market. I don't see where the volume is. This 1.5 million transactions being recorded. I don't see where that is coming from. It doesn't look good to me. So yeah, I'll keep it off the list. If you like something here, you could watch it. But I don't see anything great, Peter. I'm not sure if you do.
They did have some news. Apparently, Morgan Stanley came out with a report on the sector and said that there is the U.S. veterinary clinic market is estimated to be about $40 billion worth of revenue opportunity, and Chewy is in a good position to capitalize on it. Now, I don't think that would be new money. They call this the total addressable market. But anyways, I don't know. I'm not quite sure how they are expected to take advantage of it. But Morgan Stanley basically provided a very positive outlook on Chewy, and they already had an overweight rating. They maintained that rating on it, so they didn't have to give them an upgrade. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's good news for Chewy, but it doesn't look like good trading.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna keep this one off my list for now, friends. I don't really like it at the moment, but if you do, you can watch it. It's a tough stock to trade. Even on most days, their volume is extremely low, 6 million looks like. So again, they're on the smaller side, 4 million for the most part. So I'd rather watch something with a little bit more volume throughout the day here. Oklo, let's take a look at Oklo, our good buddy, which was very active for a couple of days. Has that returned? We're up 4.6, 613,000 shares traded in this pre-market. Yesterday, man, a beautiful drop here. Very, very nice drop from the highs of like 58-ish, 69, looks like, all the way down to about 52 plus. So, I mean, awesome trading on this thing. I did not watch it yesterday. Today I do have space to take a look at it, so we'll put it on our secondary list here, and we'll see how it goes. All right, friends. What else? Quantum. Yeah, we did look at the quantum stuff yesterday, Peter. I mean, I'm putting too many letters there. Pick one: QBT or QBTS. QUBT.
I like how you always do that.
I always do that, like put QUBTS and all these other letters in here. But starting with QUBT, man, they were trading very well yesterday, right? So we had a really nice active pre-market activity at the market open. They got going, and here's QUBT on the intraday action really well. Nice reversal back to VWAP, and then the sell-off. But they were active, man. Which one are you watching today?
QBTS had a better move, in my opinion, yesterday than even QUBT did. So QBTS seems like a good play opportunity. So.
Yeah, had a really nice sell-off here. Struggled to get going. Similar move as the other one, but this one was much cleaner. I could tell here, definitely much cleaner. And the drop seems a lot bigger. So either one of those is good. I'm probably going to put both on my secondary list, and I can decide a little bit later which one to keep. So QUBT and QBTS. It's interesting how both of these have seemed to taken over. Remember, for us, Peter, it was always Mara, Coin, Riot at some point, a certain extent. Clean Spark was my least favorite, but these have become not as great. I mean, yesterday here you could see. I'm sorry, I'm confusing this one. This is not those. What's the other one? Or Rigetti Spaghetti. Yes, Rigetti. This one.
Spaghetti. Yeah.
Right. So this one used to be the one we used to look at the most, but this one has kind of taken the backseat compared to other stuff that we're watching. So it used to be Rigetti. There was another one too that was a little bit better than this one. But these are now in the backseat. QUBT and QBTS have really taken kind of like the lead on this thing. So there was another one too. What was the other one? It's another quantum.
QNTM.
Well, that's a new one, I think. Right? That's the new one that Jared put us on to. QNTM. Yeah, this is a new one.
Now, I see Ben Colts is asking, is there a quantum ETF? There's actually a couple of them out there. The one that I have on my list is QTUM. So QTUM is the one that...
Hold on, let me put that in here. What is that? I never heard of that one.
TUM. That's a quantum ETF. So an ETF, exchange traded fund.
Okay.
it's really just a basket of stocks. It's like trading a mutual fund, you know. So and there's lots of
Yeah,
these ETFs out there. You can basically trade sectors, right? You could trade just financials or semiconductors or real estate or utilities or quantum or Bitcoin or pot or whatever you want. There's an ETF for everything out there. So,
yeah, yeah.
anyways, so
This
there's
one,
probably a few of them, but that's the one that I
yeah.
know of.
Yeah, but it doesn't like it moves well. Like if it's not leveraged, probably this one that's leveraged, maybe that could be a little bit better. But this one, intraday trading, I don't see a great daily on it. So I'll be careful with that one. And if you look at the intraday action, I mean, I don't. You have a better opportunity maybe trading the actual ticker, right? It's not like the SPY. Like I see sometimes people are trading the SPY. This lacks a lot of volume, so just be careful if you're looking to trade this directly. I think you could trade just the tickers directly. But yeah, Benjamin, you brought it up. That's what I was thinking about. IonQ. Yes, this used to be front and center, and really, yes, it looks like they all traded well, but for the most part, they've been very, very quiet compared to the QBTS and QUBT. So, but again, yesterday they all played very, very nice here. But on my list, QUBT, QBTS for now, and we'll see how it goes to see what kind of day we're going to have today. All right, friends. What else? We'll look at a few more things, and then we'll head over to our community events. And actually, we're a little early. We got a little more time to look at more stuff
Yeah.
as well.
We didn't
Um,
have we don't have a gappers list to really look at.
no,
So
no,
I
no, we
said, and
don't
then,
have.
like it's really interesting to me that everything is green. It's one of those days. Remember, guys, when we see this, right? At least for me, warning bells should go off when everything is green, right? Pre-market. Often what happens is we can see a reversal of opinion. So it's great that everything is up, but it's almost too correlated. So, um, I'm just going to be cautiously open, especially without knowing. There's nothing that has like big news. Everything's pretty quiet so far. Pre-market, largely flat since about 6 a.m. The move that brought us into the green territory really happened late
Yeah,
yesterday evening, and then we've been flat through this morning. So sometimes that can mean that we see just a little bit of a sell-off now. Again, I'm not saying it's long term, right? We might get a sell off at the open and then we'll end up green by the end of the day. But, I just, these highly correlated days are often, give you some surprises, trading opportunities, but surprises. So,
yep, yep, absolutely. Um, all right. I mean, I can't think of anything else. Let's take a look at some more AVGO. I see that one being thrown out quite a bit here. So AVGO, let's take a look. I find it difficult to trade this stock,
yeah,
right?
Broadcom.
I watched it plenty of times when it's in play, when it's in major news. For me, the price action is not an easy one to trade, so I usually avoid it. I love what they're doing here on the daily, possible breakout, and man, they've been on a tear like all since April. They've just been tearing it up here, guys. They were sitting down at 137, now as high as 265, which we'll call it, could be a little more. Hanging out at 260 now. So again, on fire on the daily. I think it's a great swing trading stock if you get some opportunities of value. But for the most part, intraday trading, man, I struggle with this one. So I rather watch something else. I think Peter, I think you feel the same as well. There's just something about Broadcom that doesn't trade all that good. And all these marketing communications companies, they're not great intraday trading tickers, are they?
No, they are not. Sorry, I was looking at the trading
No,
terminal
so good, man.
for
I
whatever
gave you the
reason.
layup. As long as you didn't miss the dunk, it's all good. I gave you the layup and you took it. You got it.
In any event, sorry. Yeah, it's we got some struggles on our data today.
Yeah.
Irishman, you're right. The scanners are down. We're not sure why. It's yeah, we
I
don't
know
know.
why. I know exactly why they're down. You know why? Because we're trying to improve it every single day. And when you're doing that, when you're improving every single day, you're gonna disconnect something. So again, shout out to our development team. I know they're working hard. They're gonna disconnect something. It's just what happens. When you're improving things and trying to push the envelope, you're going to trip on something. Somebody tripped on the wire. Just got to go in there and connect the cable. What was the company, Peter, that messed up the data? Was it CrowdStrike? Who was the company that somebody
Oh,
messed up some
yeah,
data and
what
they were
was it?
out? They canceled a whole bunch of. I think it was CrowdStrike,
I think
right?
it was CrowdStrike. Yeah. And
Right?
then
They all
Microsoft was like, yeah, throwing shade on them, and
yeah.
yeah, they had a bad time with that.
That's
Yeah,
a rough time. I think
bad
American
update.
Airlines uses them. Yo,
That was a bad
Microsoft had the
update.
bad update. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was something there. So
Well,
it
it
happens.
was CrowdStrike that pushed out a bad Microsoft update. So
Oh
Microsoft is
yeah,
quick
yeah,
to
yeah,
say,
yeah.
"Ain't us, man. It's their problem." But yeah, it was to all their
Hey,
customers, and yeah, that was when
this
was that? That was a while
that was
ago
some
now,
time
wasn't it?
ago. But that was
Yeah,
that
like
was
a
big
year
because
ago now.
everybody
Whatever.
used that
We can
that
find it here. It is.
software from Microsoft. Where is
Yeah.
CrowdStrike, by the way?
July of last year. Yeah, you can see it very easily on the
CRW.
chart. It was
CRWV.
all good. It was going up and up and up. But hey, look, they've recovered. They're well past the
Oh,
highs that
I
they had
looked
set before that whole
I looked
thing
at the
happened.
wrong
But
one.
at the
I looked
time,
at the wrong.
they
There it
lost
is.
half their value.
Yeah, look
Yeah.
at that. Look at that. Of someone not plugging their cable. This is crazy. It's madness. I'm sure it costs millions of dollars, right?
Oh yeah.
Our
Oh
scanner's
yeah.
not going to cost you millions of dollars, or not just for this morning. They'll be back and running soon. So, if you think this is a problem, think about these guys over here losing billions and millions. We're good, but yeah, guys, we're aware of it. What I'm trying to say is we're aware of it, and they're working on it. So it'll be up and running in just a second here, or a couple of minutes. All right, let's see what else. What else you guys like this morning? My list so far, we're looking at Tesla, AMD, PLTR. I got HIMS, CRCL, Oklo, two quantum tickers, QUBT and QBTS. I agree that they both have good volume now. Before QBTS had a lot more, but QUBT is right there catching up. Again, pre-market, I don't see where QUBT caught up with that volume because nothing has really changed. So maybe
Mhm.
some transactions. QBTS they're both right there, both up around 2%, 2.5. All right, I think we're set, Peter. Let's go over to community events announcement. I like my list. It's not a blockbuster list right now, and I think I'm going to add some more stuff to it. But on the main list, I like what I have: Tesla, AMD, and PLTR. We'll see which one of these two quantum tickers. I'll probably move up one, whichever looks better before the market open. Let's get to our events for today, and then we'll come back and see what our team is watching. Do some levels as well.
All right. Yes, indeed. It's Tuesday. Tuesday means we usually focus on, excuse me, not choking. That's what we focus on Tuesday.
That's a good
Uh,
idea.
in addition to that, we also tend to focus on our strategy and trade book activities. All right. So if you go to bearbultraders.com and you check out our webinars, you can see all the information you need to find those webinars for the day. And today you'll see that we have a couple things happening. We've got Peter choking.
Live front and center. All right, Peter, get some water in there. We'll give you a little break here. This show is brought to you by TradingTerminal.com. We should hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. Really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
It's
Peter's
always
back.
like it's always when I like start trying to talk in earnest that
Right, where was this when you were just sitting back and taking a break and not having to do your part? It's
I know
just
exactly.
the body
It's
has a
because
weird sense of humor. I tell you.
well, that's the
Huh?
way it goes, I guess. So, anyways, all right, guys. A couple things happening today in the chat room. As you can see, we got a webinar tonight. Mike is going to be delivering the strategy webinar. We're going to talk about how you can capitalize on failed breakouts with a very structured approach. As you know, are focused on what we call the trade book, which is really just your trading strategy or strategies. How do you face the market? How do you approach it? And how do you do it in a repeatable, structured way? Mike's going to talk about that with a focus on failed breakouts and how you can take advantage of those. That's my favorite type of trade. Failed breakouts essentially is what leads to my mountain pass or parabolic reversal trades that I live and breathe off of. So he is going to talk about that. That's at 8 o'clock for all of our elite members in the webinar room. So check that out. We also have a live trading session with Avi that is going to be happening at 11 a.m. That's apparently it's in the onboarding room. So he focuses on options trading. Now, that being said, the strategies apply to options and, well, you could apply to futures and equities equally. So really, it's the approach he takes to the price action and movement, and that can be applied in any way. So Avi's, taught a lot of people and showed his strategy and approach many, many times, but it's always good to understand how he faces the market. So if you're interested, it looks like everybody can join because that's in the onboarding room. We also have at noon today, Brendan, who's going to be doing his Data Trader Pro setup. Is that right? That's on Tuesdays now in the onboarding room. I know we had a lot of changes, Carlos. I want to make sure that the website is updated.
I'm gonna go with the website because I know there's
Okay.
changes. I'll go with it. Yep, yep.
Yeah, because I know we got sent all that, so it looks like that is correct. And then Phil is on Tuesday at 1 p.m. He's going to talk about how you can trade a small account. So we've got a whole series of activities today: 11, 12, 1, and then of course 8 o'clock tonight. So it's a very busy day on Tuesdays. It's a great day, right, to get all sorts of education and material. So check it out, no matter what your membership category is. And speaking of which, if you don't have a membership yet, well, you can always do that. You go to bearabletraders.com and you get all the information you need. Plus, you can sign up for our intro right through our elite annual. Pick the one that's best for you. If you just want to go with the intro offer, well, like we actually have a deal for you. Do we still have a deal? I think, well, it's a deal anyways. I mean, even a regular price, the thing is a deal. You get one full week access to the chat room. You can sort of see what's happening. You can test out all of the webinars that are in the onboarding room, like the Dash Trader Pro setup that's happening at noon, or Avi's trading at 11. If you sign up right now, you can take advantage of that, and you can do it for only $19. If you're in YouTube, our team just put it in there. So click on that link, and you can get that discounted rate off of the regular $39. So go take advantage of that right now, so that you can do it. And we'll see you in the chat room soon. All right, Carlos, we're edging closer towards the open. I am also waiting for this
Yep.
earnings to come out on CCL. So keep in mind that's supposed to be at 9:15. We'll see if it comes out to
Mm,
schedule here, but I'm curious. I'm curious to see, because we are sort of at the start of the summer cruising season, at least for North America and Europe.
yep.
And I'm expecting to see some good results, because they've actually had some good quarter-over-quarter numbers in the last little while, and are very bullish about their forecast. It'll be interesting to see if they're on target. That'll might be a late-minute addition to my list here, my target list, if it starts to move. But right now, of course, it's not doing much because earnings haven't come out yet. I mean, more
Yep. Yep.
volume than normal, but not doing much.
Yep. I hear you 100%. All right, friends, we are set. Let's get some levels in here for what I have on deck, and then we'll come back and look at what our team is watching. Today, I'm trading with the P Capital team, so I won't be trading here live on YouTube. Peter will be taking you through here and doing all that fun stuff with you guys, but I'll be trading with the P Capital groups this morning. So around 9:15, I'll start heading over there. But for now, let's take a look at our. Let's see what we have here. Let's take a look at our levels. So just gonna go over here. First one on deck. I only have 3 today, so we'll look at those 3. I might add more a little bit later, but just 3 right now. We'll start with Tesla, our good buddy. Again, just was completely awesome yesterday. High of the pre-market this morning, sitting at 359.03. Is Peter? You remember we were talking about? Oh, do we jump in here? Do we jump in here? And
Yep.
it's gonna get to 350. We were just joking around. It was at 340, and it did. Got to 350. It's $10
I
move,
know.
and after I
And
gave you another $9 move. I mean, it is just, I mean, $7 or so. It's just incredible, man. This stock is unreal.
and
Um,
yet I still made money shorting it. So
you did, yeah, because you took a short right in,
right at the open, like second
right in
minute.
this.
And
Oh, you did the open too. I thought you took one even later here, right? Did you take a
I
short here
did.
as
I did
well?
later, absolutely. But yeah, the
Yep.
one while we were live was right at the open.
Oh,
I
that's
just
the
didn't
big
hold
one.
it for
Yep.
long enough. It did get a
Yep.
quick move before it decided to take off, but
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Tesla, guys, looking forward to this one as well. It should be a good one. And love the pre-market right now. We're sitting at around 330, 353.72. So 353.72. Towards the middle on the daily, we do have a nice area here. It's going to be right at 342.27. So I'm going to mark that there as well. And below that, again, plenty of level of support. Look at this break, all right? We're just kind of stuck here, back and forth, the ping pong action, boom, 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 and then a beautiful breakout yesterday into the next range. So let's see how if we are able to maintain this range. Are we going to go lower? Are we breaking higher? It'll be fun to watch. Above, towards the top, 363.23. Again, Tesla looking very good. 4.5 million shares traded so far this morning. Let's take a look at AMD. So AMD right now we're looking at 133.85. We'll slam a level there, and then towards the bottom 132. 25 is the next level, so we'll put a level there towards the low of the day. Below that, we do have the highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. And again, you mentioned this yesterday, Peter, and I did not notice until you mentioned it, how AMD it's moving up with more red candles than green. It's a very strange pattern. I mean, look at this stretch. All red. Well, this is going down, but all red. Here we're moving up is red. Right? I mean, there's just a lot of gapping up and selling down going on here. A bunch of red candles are still moving higher somehow, right? Just again, gapping down, selling down seems to be the thing for AMD here. But nevertheless, it has been intraday trading very well, so we'd love to see what it does today. Last but not least, it's going to be PLTR. So again, a very short list for me today. I don't have much that I like this morning. 141.65 towards the bottom. We're going to have 140.60 on PLTR, and on the daily, you could tell we're just stuck here. We're really stuck. We found an area of resistance finally that has been a struggle to get above. That's around we'll call it 142.30, right around that area. It could be a little bit lower, but this has been just a tough area to get through, and you can see the struggles that we're getting here. Towards the bottom, highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. Previous day close. I mean, you got plenty of stuff here. Do not really need to add anymore. So that's my list, Peter. What is the team watching this morning?
All right, the team is starting to get their list in, and I was just working on understanding what IPOs we've got. We don't have much, but anyways, you just never know now, though, when they'll be good. So, all right, so let's go to what our mods are watching. Do you have that? Oh, you don't have it on screen. All right, we'll just talk it through. Lenny in first, and he's back to his old tricks, which I like to see because he usually gives us the master list that everybody can trade from if they really want to. So Lenny is going to be watching everything in the kitchen sink, including AMD, Micron, Tesla, Nvidia, UPST, QUBT, CRCL, Uber, Lyft, Carnival Cruise Lines, I mentioned, CCL, and HIMS. So big list there. Thor's going to be watching his usual futures, and we'll let you know when things start to move. Jared's got CRCL, of course, and AMD on his list. That makes me happy. He's also watching Tesla, Uber, and CCL. Mike is just taking a look at the scanners, and that makes a lot of sense. He'll see what jumps up from there. Andrew, going to be keeping a special eye on CRCL, AMD, and Tesla. Andrew had fantastic trade on Tesla yesterday. If you haven't seen that, we'll go back and see the recording of our live show. He shared his trade, and he made obviously some fantastic money off of that. So good trade there. I'm going to be watching Tesla, PLTR, AMD. I'll also be watching CRCL, NVIDIA. Apparently I'm watching CRCL twice. CRCL, NVIDIA, and CCL. Brian's going to be watching AMD, Amazon, Tesla, CRCL. Seems to be popular today. We don't have any particular reason to believe CRCL is going to move, but like I said, it's been trading so well, it sort of makes sense. It's made its way onto the list, sort of like a PLTR, right? That we're keeping an eye on as well. Megan is going to be very focused just on AMD, and Phil is going to be watching NVIDIA, Google, Tesla, and RGTI. So, all that being said, I know that Carlos has got to get going. He's heading over to the Peak Capital Trading Room to trade with those guys, and that puts the pressure on me. I'll be trading live with you guys here on YouTube, so let's go, baby. Let's see what we can do.
You will get it done, man. Get one of those
what I have
quick,
to do?
short
I
trades.
Have to take the damn trade. So that's what I'll be working on today,
take the trade,
everybody.
Peter.
Help me out. I'm going to be talking it through.
Absolutely, man.
See what happens.
All right, friends. Take care. Trade safe. We'll leave with Peter. Peter, let's just make sure the screen is good. It's going to be this one here. Not sure if you want to share that one or zoom in or do something else.
That one, I'm going to zoom in on one chart here. So we just need to reset the platform, and we'll get this going. You guys can see my very busy desktop screensaver. All right.
Is that a screensaver, Peter? Holy moly. That's a lot.
Well, it's not. It's actually my desktop background. I saw somewhere that they said that if you put positive images, then you can it'll help you. So
awesome,
here,
man.
I'll show this to you guys quickly. There. So I put all sorts of positive images, some personal, some I've taken off the internet. They're images of success. That's the idea.
Man. Start the morning right. I like
People
that.
winning.
I like that. Oh, I like the baby. I like the baby right there. On the side. That's it right there.
That guy right down there.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. All right, guys. Trade safe. Gonna log off, guys. Take care. Hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. I did myself here as well, so make sure you do that, guys. It does help us out a ton. So please, please do that. Thank you so much. Take care, guys.
All right. Good morning again, everybody. And we are getting going. I just have to now reopen my platform. It was the easiest way to show you guys that desktop. 1 second. We'll get the right desktop image here. Now, I have limited technical capabilities compared to Carlos because he controls this feed. So I will just have this one screen and do 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 do. We'll just wow, it's taking a minute here to open. All right, here we go. So I'll watch the market overall. We'll see what's opening. I'll do my best to. In fact, you know what? I'm going to link that to this over here so that you guys will always watch when I'm watching. And we are going to get going. Oh, Percival. Now, am I still in the chat room? Is Percival, you're picking on me? You're picking on my team? Oh my goodness. All right, fine, fine, fine. Hey, they made it to the playoffs this year. So, you know, that's something. All right, guys, we're gonna get going here. I see Andrew is joining. He is looking like he's trying to wake up. He's close. All right. Carlos, if you're listening, I need you to take me off the chat room. Actually, you know what? I'll kill myself from the chat room. We'll get it going here. 1 second. Actions. There we go. Okay. We should be good to go, everybody. Hopefully you can still hear me on YouTube. Hello and good morning. All right, like we said, we've got a few things that we're going to watch here. We're going to watch CRCL. We're going to watch actually, you know what I need to do? I need to call up right now and see if Carnival Cruise Lines, what the heck? Did they release their earnings yet? Looks like they did. Ooh, looks like they did do better than expected. Over delivered on both earnings, bottom line earnings and revenue. I can see that they popped up here this morning. Volume has increased a little bit. So Carnival Cruise Lines has sort of popped up. So that is good. We'll see if they can hold those gains or what's going to happen. I don't know that I'm going to find a trading opportunity on Carnival. It's not the best trading stock at the open, so it might be a little bit later. We'll see what happens. If you're trading the open, things like Tesla, are just good, stable, reliable stocks to look at. We also, I usually look at Tesla. I usually look at things like Nvidia. I watch AMD, of course. These are all the ones I look at. Now, I don't trade off of the screen that you guys are looking at because I like to trade off of black charts. So I actually look at a whole different screen, but that's okay. Hopefully, I'll get it reflected up there so you guys know what's going on and you can follow along. All right. Jim, yeah, Jim, AMD typically does get sort of range bound, as you're saying, before the open. I'm not particularly worried about that. It can still move after the open. You just need to, and this is actually a good range because if it can go up and get higher, then it looks like the 133.90, let's call it 133.85, roughly is the high here. If it can get up over that, then we might get a good run up to 135. So I don't mind this range that it's in. And Rhino 3, yes, we were talking about that. There is a conversation. He's testifying to the House. The House Finance Services Committee is where he's testifying. So that is something to keep an eye on. That is starting at 10 a.m. So it probably, wouldn't have any market impact till a little bit after that. Depends when his comments get started. He usually has fixed comments, and then you go into the Q&A, which is the more impactful element of that. We did have some numbers that came out just a little while ago. The home price index was expected to be up by 4%. Looks like the Case-Shiller home price index only came out at 3.4%. So that is a little bit lower than anticipated. I guess that's good. I don't know if that's good news or not. They rate this here as a red thing. Do we want housing prices to go up or not? I would think that you don't. I don't know. Anyways, so that number came out at 10 a.m. We also have the consumer confidence. We'll try and keep an eye on that, see what it does. I'm gonna move this up over here so I don't forget about it. Okay. And how about you guys out on YouTube? What are you watching? You trade off a dark navy chart, Mad Props. Light cyan and dark gray blue. That sounds trippy. Hmm. All right. Well, you know what? Everybody could trade off of different charts. I know that Megan, for example, she's in our chat room, excellent trader, but she's moved through all sorts of different color palettes over the last couple of years. So, it's one of those that you can change it up whenever you want to. All right, keeping an eye on Tesla here. Just want to see what it's going to do as we get towards the open. If you look at a daily on Tesla, you can see that, oh, you know what I need to do? I'm gonna have to get rid of, you know what? And let me make this, whoops, simpler here. Let's load up a different chart. Let's see, simply wait. That way, much simpler for you guys to see levels. I should get rid of all these lines down here. These are like levels I set a while back that I don't need at the present time. All right. Daily on Tesla, you could see the grid move yesterday. Like if we can break through, what is the high over here? 367? Yeah, 360. Actually, 365, I'm going to put a level to see what happens. And even here, around 360, you can see how it hit that level back in November of last year and then February of this year. So I think there is a good opportunity for Tesla to move higher today. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Sunita, Andrew says the team is actively addressing that. Unfortunately, yes, we know the scanner is down this morning, so apologies for that. Andrew is working on that. You know what? And I can't hear Andrew or Brian. Let me get my headphones on. And I realize I don't have any Carlos to listen to. I got no one to talk with me. So So I'll need Andrew's voice in my head just to see what he's doing. Uh, I think yesterday Pig Wrestler was the first day, and things went fairly smoothly yesterday, as usual. It's Murphy's Law. Things will go wrong. Yeah, Joey, sorry. Yeah, it's definitely not you. It's definitely not you. Speaking of Thor, I always think of Thor when I think of Carnival Cruise Lines because Thor traded Carnival. I think he was short Carnival like every day for a month. And he made so much money off of shorting Carnival through the pandemic, which made sense. Remember when they were like, I think there's a documentary out now called like The Poop Cruise or something. Isn't that what it was called? I saw like a little flash ad or something for it. It sounded disgusting. But I know that there was like an issue. Anyways, I assume it was a, a, pseudo documentary, some sort of documentary. Anyways, but yeah, it was problematic. Remember when people were getting quarantined on the ships? Once COVID hit and they didn't want to let people off the ships because they were afraid of further infection, so they just kept them prisoner off the coast, and they just said you can't. I wasn't through. It wasn't the entire pandemic, Ken, but it was a while. It was like it was a while. It was like a couple of months, I think, where they forced them to stay. Like, can you imagine, like, what was supposed to be like a happy cruise and started all happy, and then, by month two, you're not happy anymore, and probably never going to cruise again in your life, I would think. That would be very traumatic. Anyways, doesn't matter how luxurious it is, right? Confinement, prison is prison. So. Yeah. Well, I mean, Pig Wrestler, it wasn't, it stopped becoming a holiday because my understanding is like they were running out of fresh water, they were running out of food, the toilets because there was backing up because they couldn't flush the sewage tanks. Like there were problems. Like it was not fun from all reports. So I don't think they had to resort to Lord of the Flies stuff and started eating each other, but all right. So I am going to keep an eye on AMD because I do want to see what it does at the open, but I'm always watching it. I'll be watching Nvidia. Now, I'm down a screen here. So you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to put the market indices. Actually, I'll put the SPY here and then Qs here so I can keep an eye on those because I want to see what they're doing. We'll go back. Tesla, I think, is going to be the better mover at the open. So we'll see what it does. I like Tesla so far today. It's getting its usual, moves that are getting a little bigger, a little more erratic. And let's in fact do this. I'm just gonna bring in put the actually does this one? Oh, this one. I can expand that one. All right, so let's tie that to this, and it should be all tied in together now. We can watch the level two together on any stock that we've got here. All right. Hey, hey, it does not want to put this. Why doesn't it want to put this at the top of the screen? This is weird. That is so weird. Why will you not? Okay. Okay, I cannot get this to go to the top of the screen. So sorry about that. You're going to see a little bit of weird stuff. All right, guys, 1 minute to the market open. Look, unless I've got a very specific trade setup, something that I'm looking for, I don't normally jump in at the open, as you guys probably know by now if you watch me for a while. So I'm going to be pretty cautious. We'll see. Tesla might give an opportunity. Being that I'm alone here live with you guys, I'm going to want to impress. So it might be a good thing. I'll take more trades than normal, which probably means I'm going to lose more than normal. So I'm just, I'm getting myself ready for that probability that, because, whenever I deviate from my strategy, as much as like you'd like to think, oh, you can make more money doing that, it never works out for me. And then I can just make slow, steady money when I stick to what I do. So we'll see what happens. This- Keeping an eye. Apple's had a little bit of a drop here so far this morning. Don't know why that is. All right, guys, there's the opening bell. We'll see what we get. See if we get a pullback. We are getting a little bit of a pullback initially here on the Qs and the SPY. So, oof. Let's see. Let's see what we get here. Let's zoom in here on Tesla. Tesla's got some topside ask. Hmm, interesting. We'll see what it does. Not going to go too fast into anything. AMD pulling back. Nvidia popping up here. Look at Nvidia moving up initially. So I gotta move this over here. See what happens here. Go back to Tesla. Look at Tesla selling off. Yikes. All right. You know, if we get a move back to the VWAP up here to the 355 and then show some weakness, that might be an opportunity for a short on Tesla. We'll see what happens. And can I just say, like I warned you guys, pre-market, just because everything was gapping green, right, early on, don't assume that the market's going to go green. We just don't know. It could go either way, and I still feel that way, right? We could go either way. AMD popping up here. Look at that. Engulfing candle here on AMD. See if it can go higher, and Nvidia continuing to push higher. So those are some decent moves. Still watching a Tesla. Oh, Tesla. Tesla. I was hoping it would get, again, pulled back up here a little bit higher, and I could take it short. But Andrew looks like he's gone long on AMD. He's got a little bit went long on that. It's taking some partials. Well, remember, like we said at the open, who was it that said AMD is range bound? Right? Just because it was range bound pre-market. Look at this range pre-market. Where did it go to? Like I said, 135. Nailed it. So you could check the record on that one. That's exactly where I called it to. So yeah, AMD went up and touched that level. We'll see what it does now. That could be very short-lived. But it went up and hit that target. Like I said, if it broke through this range, it's exactly where it would go to. Yes, validation. Did I make money off of it? No. Not something I was trading, but you know, able to call it at least. That's something. All right, let's go back and see what Tesla's doing. Still holding above 350 here. That'll be an important level for it to hold. Wow, AMD was a very short pop. Look at that. Popped up right back down here into this range area. So let's see what it does now. All bets are off as to what it's going to do now, I think. And Nvidia is a little choppy here. I mean, it did move up, but now it's in this range. So a little confusing. Oh my goodness. Look at Tesla. If only I'd gotten a pullback on Tesla. I really did want to short this. Just never got a pullback to a range that I felt comfortable with. Another missed opportunity. George, you're going to look at Tesla as a reversal from 345? 345. Yeah. I mean, round number type thing. I don't know that 345 is played heavily. Let's check out here. Let's check out Tesla on a 60-minute chart. Like I don't see in the last few days 345 not really that much of a level. I mean, I suppose it sort of hit that yesterday. We'll put a level, whoops, we'll put a level there to keep an eye on it just to see what it does. I think down here is probably more significant of a level, but I mean, that's a ways to go, 332. Hmm. Yeah, we'll see what it does. All right. Keep an eye here on Tesla. Of course, previous day close is always a strong level that it observes. That's the dashed line you can see here that it's bouncing off of. And we'll see if it holds that previous day close. AMD recovered. It's back up. Here's AMD. Been a little higher. All right, let's keep an eye. I want to keep an eye on Tesla. I'm interested to see what it's doing. AMD having a decent move here this morning. Where are you going, Tesla? Where are you going? Andrew in the chat room is trading AMD. He had a trade on AMD and he just added to that. So that's a good trade for him. You can see his let's see if I can share it. Can I share this here? Yeah, look at that. There's Andrew. You can see his trades on AMD. A little harder to see, but hopefully you can see that. That's what's happening in the chat room. AMD's going. AMD, it's going higher and then pulled back off that 135 level. And look, Tesla looks like it's now broke the previous day close. So we're in the red on Tesla. Let's see for how long. Does look weak. Look at the level two. You can see the black boxes. See, that's where there's larger size, more than 5,000 shares sitting at any given level. That's what I keep an eye on. There's not a lot. Look, I've got very little right down the chain. So it looks like Tesla doesn't have huge volume. It could go either way. Let's look at the relative volume today. It is higher than normal. We're at 150, 149% R vol. So, but I'm not seeing strong directional, indicators. So CCL is pushing higher off of the positive earnings. So I don't know if anybody caught CCL, but that was a little bit of a move higher. Some of our members in the chat room seem to be watching CoreWeave. CoreWeave had a move down and then pushing higher right at the moment. Don't love it myself, but PLTR, PLTR is weak. So we got a few things moving. Hopefully, if you've got a trade, it's working out well for you. I have no trades so far. No trades. It's not atypical for me. My prime trading activity doesn't typically happen in at the open. Let's check out Quantum. What are the Quantum stocks doing? QUBT moved down off the open. QBTS very choppy. Wow, that is see all these overlapping candles. That's pretty ugly. That is virtually impossible to trade right there. How about OKLO? Ugh, also very choppy, very ugly. So yeah, if you're trading OKLO, ugh, you might want to look for something else, in my opinion. All right, keep an eye on Tesla. All right, got nothing. Don't forget, guys, if you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate that. Helps the channel out, helps us out. Luke, what are we talking about? No volume pre-market. Yeah, the volume pre-market is always extraordinarily low. Like it looks big pre-market, and then when the open happens, you realize how little volume there is, right? Like you can see on the chart that I'm sharing, for example, right? It looks so flat because the open volume is always so large. If I just let's say I just do this, right? Let's just zoom in on the pre-market. This looks like normal volume, doesn't it? Soon as I bring in that 930 candle, bam, look at that. It looks flat, right? That's just the nature of how, how the markets always work. So keep that in mind. All right, that's why I tend to discount some of the pre-market moves because, when that open volume, it just eclipses everything that happened pre-market. So you can get radical changes in direction. We see it every day. Happens every day. So. Oh, it's a shame I didn't get a pullback in Tesla. If I had got a pullback, look at this great move. We got a $10 move now. Tesla moving lower. But again, I'm not in it. Nvidia is at high of day. right now, sitting at 146.60 area. All right. And Tesla still looking weak here. Mm-mm-mm. Well, interesting how we've got divergence between Nvidia, which is pushing higher here at the open, and AMD, which is which is not. I mean, it had tried to move higher, it went to that 135 area we talked about, and now it's sort of hanging out just below it. So it doesn't look as energetic as it did yesterday. So I think if you're going to watch a semiconductor, you can watch NVIDIA. You can also watch SMCI. I saw a couple people there in the comments say they were watching SMCI. Um, not a huge move on it so far, but definitely was moving a little higher. It's got to get up over 42 and over this area that it had set pre-market around 8, yeah, 10 after 8. But yeah, I don't know what it wants to do. SMCI today. Tesla continuing to look weak, whereas Nvidia continuing to push higher. Look at this. Anybody catch that long on Nvidia? If you did, congrats to you. Sort of went long off the VWAP. Andrew in the chat room took that. Look at his trade again here. Here he is. He took this one, added to it. You can see he's partialing now up here at the high of day. So that's a good trade by Andrew. Rabowski, is that your real name, Rabowski? I love it. Rabowski, you got NVIDIA? I think, you know what? I was thinking of Lebowski, the dude, different name. Uh, Do you have any opinions on anchoring the view up to the start of the market open? Do the view continue on from pre-market? Look, I do let it continue on from pre-market, but Luke, like we were talking about, I mean, keep in mind, VWAP is volume weighted average price, which means that once again, because you get such big volume at the open, it doesn't really matter, in my opinion, whether you anchor it at the open or let it continue from pre-market, because that open volume on most things, at least the stuff that I watch, so overpowers the volume pre-market, it doesn't matter. Like look how quickly the VWAP moves right at the open, right to these levels. And if you create an anchored VWAP, I don't know. I don't think it would change it that much. I haven't actually played with it, so but I do include the pre and post market. They do have options for these anchor periods now. I don't use it. I want to see the VWAP the way it was intended, because that's the way I think still the large volume traders still use it, and that's what's important. I want to know what they think the average price is, right? Now, if you want it, you might want to use VWAP for something else, which means you can anchor it to a specific number of periods, which means it's going to change on your charts as you change your charts, right? So keep that in mind. Or you can anchor it to a specific time of day. But that, to me, you'd be using it for a different function than what I use it for. So I don't know if that helps you or not, but that's my opinion on it. So, all right, you guys are saying hymns? Let's take a look at hymns. I haven't looked at that at all today. Here's hymns. What's it doing? Not really that much. Did move up. A little overlap, a lot of overlapping candles here. So Nvidia, good mover. Once it sort of consolidated, this would have been a long opportunity. I was too busy blabbing away, wasn't focused on that NVIDIA long, but That would have been a good move. Or not would have been, is a good move because it's still going. Tesla looks like it's quieted down here, settling. We'll have to see what it does. Looks like Nvidia is the more interesting thing to keep an eye on. What about Carlos's favorite, PLTR? Now, this might have been a trade that Carlos would have taken had he been here. Maybe he is taking it over at P Capital. Along, he's got the VWAP here. He's got the previous day close. Try and get along through 140. Let me go check on him. Let's call up P Capital here. See what he's doing over in that boot camp. Do, 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 do. Looks like Nvidia has hit a short-term top here, pulling back just slightly after some uncertainty candles. So, oh, look at that. I just I just dialed into the P Capital Trading just to see what Carlos is doing, and he said he's checking in on me. So we're checking in on each other. I love it. So we'll see what happens. Actually, I just realized this is a Google Meet. So now in a Google Meet and a Zoom meeting at the same time. Hopefully that doesn't screw things up. Hopefully that doesn't screw things up. So, all right. All right. All right. Looks like they're doing good over there at Peak Capital. Doing good in the chat room. Guys, we're hanging out here. So, all good so far. Yeah, PLTR again feels like a Carlos type move. Let's show you guys again here what PLTR is up to. Feels like a Carlos type move, but not my trade. Nvidia, this would be a type of short I like, off of that. I could have just got a quick scalp perhaps, because I mean, I don't know how far it's going to go, but guys, I feel like I'm not doing it. I'm not taking the damn trade. These are all sort of like, like B, maybe C type setups for me, like this Nvidia short. I don't know what I'm more afraid of. Not trading, so you guys think it's all boring, or trading foolishly and losing money, or trading foolishly and winning money. Doesn't teach you the right lessons, right? It's not what we're here to learn. We're here to learn how to trade maturely. Sufyan, yes. See, a double top, that's my primary setup. It's more of a momentum trade. Like this would be momentum. Like see how it moved up really quickly. And then you got this doji. This is what I would call a spinning top doji, right? You can zoom in, right? Where you get the big wick, tiny little body where it basically opened and closed at the same level. So that often is an indication of a short-term reversal, especially when you get volume. Now, interesting in this case, we did not get volume at the high. The volume came earlier, right? When we got the big candle move. So to me, this volume was consistent with the size of the candle. As the candles got smaller, the volume also got smaller. So once we hit this uncertainty, it was reasonable that it could potentially drop. So it's sort of it all made sense, but it wasn't the same level of confirmation and setup that I would normally take, like my Mountain Pass, which is really just a double top, double bottom strategy. But it's there. It's one of the ones I do have it written up in my trade book. It is a trade that I could potentially take, but said I'm bouncing around here looking at too many things. I'm not as focused as maybe I should be. TD, now a good time for a long in Tesla. Again, it depends on your strategy, right? It could be, but I would suggest if you're going to do it, you need a big stop at this point, and you're probably trading for the next hour or several hours, right? Because right now we're sitting in what I consider no man's land. So the range between the previous day close and the VWAP is an area I don't like to take trades in, long or short, because there's a high probability that it could chop in this area or reverse frequently. So if you were like way down here and you were targeting along from the 345, which I know was mentioned, right? A couple of you mentioned you were looking at a 345 potential bounce. Obviously, you're looking good, and then you could hold this because there is a good chance it'll get back up to this 355 level, which is where we sat pre-market. And again, let's look at a longer time frame. Yesterday, right? It would be an area of support where we sort of hit a high yesterday too. So, yeah, it looks like 355 would be a reasonable area to expect Tesla to potentially go back to. But at the moment, I honestly, I don't quite yet see the signs for that. So, your call. I will not tell you whether it's good or or good or bad. I don't know. It's not my trade setup. I wouldn't trade in this range myself. So. That's just one trader's opinion. Coin. What are you doing on coin? Let's see. Do I have coin here? No, I don't. Coin. What's coin up to? Oh, yeah. Decent move on coin. What does the daily look like on coin? Oh, yeah. We are up. Is this all-time high? No, it is not. It is not. We do have some areas here that I gotta mark. All right. We'll mark those areas on coin because you can see where it sort of hit highs. But yeah, but a decent move. Wow. I didn't realize coin moved so much. When was this? Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. Coin had a big move higher. Interesting. Well, yeah, good move this morning on it. Congrats to you for catching that. Let's see. Aha, see Tesla? Well, I feel some vindication that I said it wasn't a long, at least not at that moment. Nvidia still sitting around here. I can't believe how hot it was this morning when I was out there. It's we get these, a few of these weeks a year usually here in where I live, and it's just I don't know. I don't like it when it's uncomfortable in the morning, right? Because then you're just like, it's gonna be like humid and hot and ugly, awful all day. I went outside. My wife was on the phone with my son, and she said, "Hey, I'm out here talking to our son. My son lives in Scotland, and he was like, it was only 12 degrees Celsius there, which is like what, 60, something like that." And anyways, but she was sitting outside yesterday. It was like 37 degrees or something, and she's sitting outside, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" But that's it's Caribbean blood in her, I guess. She's from Haiti, so that heat doesn't bother her. I was out there for like 3 minutes in the shade, and I'm like, if you want to continue the call inside, I'll stay with you. Otherwise, I'm out. I got to go back inside. Can't do it. Poor little white boy can't can't handle it. My son, just the one son, really. He married a Scotswoman. They actually met in Thailand, of all places. They were both teaching in Thailand and met there, and got married 2.5 years ago. So, and she loves Scotland. She thinks the weather is fantastic in Scotland. I have to agree to disagree with her on that one, but that's where they've decided to make their home. So, the land of moss and rain. It's very green. It's nice and pretty, but don't go there for the sun. Yeah, I see AMD popping up here a little bit right now, getting a move. So that's good. Nvidia still, again, from that potential trade I was talking about, it's still down here. It might actually move to VWAP. It's tough to tell which direction it's going to go. This is why these trades are, more short term. They'd be a sort of a temporary trade. This could go back to high of day or it could go to low of day. I really don't know. But to tell that, I usually take a look at the market, the SPY and the Qs, which are interesting. They're diverging right now. The Qs are sort of stuck here, not doing much. But the SPY is actually moving lower. So it tells me that tech is holding out a little bit better than the overall market. So, but we'll see. Those usually sort of move together. So we'll see if they rejoin a similar direction. But yeah, AMD looking good if anybody's whoops watching that right now. Ice Egg, I assume you are on the West Coast. Why Ice Egg? I'm very curious now. And what exactly does that mean? Anyways, but yeah, he speaks at 10 a.m. market time, which is in 3 minutes. Yeah, exactly. No matter what time zone you're in, if you're watching with us live right now, it's in 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes. Now, again, that's when his comments are supposed to start. You got to keep in mind that usually market movement will not happen right as his comments start because they have to do the introductions and then he has fixed comments which usually are not very controversial. He sticks to the line, sort of the stated policy from the Fed, and it's stuff that we've already heard a dozen times. So I don't expect immediate market reaction. What'll happen is when the questions come from the House Finance Committee, and if they really want to probe into certain areas or start slinging mud at him, and then he's got to go and defend positions, and that can often lead to commentary that the market tends to like to have a greater reaction to. The questions may be innocuous. We don't know. So keep an eye on that. I'll keep an eye on the markets. I noticed that the SPY is moving down now a little more aggressively than just a minute ago when we were watching it. We're at the low of day right now, so feels like uh, feels like we could be going lower here. And with the markets pushing down, I see AMD up here. What AMD is doing 136. AMD is at a spot where it could go either way. AMD still has some topside orders here. All right, guys, just watching things. I was looking at AMD for a potential short, but like again, these spinning top dojis I was talking about, but there's some orders up at 136.50 that I've got to keep an eye on. You can see them here in the level two. See, they're in black, so gotta wait. This thing looks like it's gonna go and potentially take out those orders. If it does it on some volume, which I expect, then I can watch it again for another potential opportunity. So there you go. There's it taking out those orders at 136.50. It's popped a little higher than that. So we'll see what it does. It's getting a support from the market overall, as you can see the cues popping up here, right? Just in the 1 minute. Same thing with the SPY popping up. So yeah, that's what I keep an eye on. Remember, those Powell comments to the House could change whatever, short-term opinion we've got here on stocks very quickly. or it could continue them. Raytrix, what are you watching here? You said Apple is dumping. Yes, it is. Apple's down at the low of day. And then you also mentioned Hood. It's not one that I normally watch. Wow, Hood is running. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Yeah, Hood is running here today, up 5%. Interesting. Well, did you get a trade on Hood, or you're just watching it? Okay, guys, just keeping an eye on things here. Looks like Tesla definitely dropped that yesterday close, and we'll see. This could be an inside day with such a strong move yesterday. We could very well, sort of stay range bound between 345 and 350. That's that wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me. All right, what do we got going on here? Tesla seems to be moving down with a little more aggression here as it's heading to low of day. All right. And I have taken my first trade of the day here. I've gone short on AMD. So here's my trade. I'm short on AMD. You guys can see I've got it on the screen there. Already taking a quick partial stop. Pretty aggressively moved to break even. Hopefully I don't get stopped out, but this thing has could very well do just that. Hit higher here. So I needed it to move immediately, and you can see I just let it stop me out at break even. It's typically when I take these early trades, because it wasn't that mature of a setup. I was just watching AMD and wanted to see what it was doing, and I wanted to see sort of an immediate lower move. And because I was just thinking it was looking weak, and the market was starting to look weak. But now, look what happens, right? The Qs did, now they look like they're pushing higher from what was like a lower leaning movement just a minute ago. So it's a very momentum-based trade, right, that I just took. And this is typically how I trade the open when I don't have my mature setups. You guys have probably heard me if you've been here for a little while, my Mountain Pass, very mature setup, right? It's got a lot long sort of build and a lot of setup on it. And those sort of have more confidence. I'll set them and they either work or they don't. These ones are more, I'm looking just for that momentum continuation, right? My spinning top doji, right, that I told you about that I like to see. I took it short when it was looking weak. Again, got a quick partial and then a stop out. So that, basically I covered my commissions, didn't cost me anything. I made, a couple of dollars, literally a couple of dollars. But you could see it was a good decision to get out, right? Because I needed that momentum continuation, which I didn't get. So, looks like it wasn't ready to go lower. So, all right. So, I was reading the very short term momentum accurately, but it didn't have, enough weakness to move lower. So, I'm okay with that trade. But there you go. So, at least I've taken one trade this morning. Not a very big one, but all right. Let's see. And and I'll just sit and wait for other opportunities. I need some good opportunities to set up. And I like the fact overall, I have to admit that AMD is moving higher because I really hope that it, spikes quite aggressively to a new high of day, gets up to 140, for example. That would be great for me. not for a long, but if then I see it sort of hesitate and weaken, especially if the market starts to move lower, I could take advantage of that and potentially trade it down. So we'll see what happens. This is where I just have to watch and wait. That's it's what I do. D is moving higher. Tesla. Tesla still in this range. Looked like it was going to break down fairly aggressively, right? I mentioned that. High volume, higher size candle, so that's, in balance. By the way, you guys may notice when I say in balance, I've got this line. Let me see if I can expand this, see if you guys can see it. This line, I haven't figured out how to change the thickness of that line here. Uh, yeah, it doesn't look like I can, eh? I can change the color, but I can't change the line size. Anyways, this purple line is just a one period ATR. And this is something I don't see a lot of people do, but I learned it from another trader. What it does, it shows me whenever the price action and and the volume are out of sync. And that can be important, especially if you're looking for reversals. So what does that mean? Well, look, when you get a bigger candle like we see here in Tesla, right? I'm looking at this candle right here, this red candle, right? Let me draw a box around it so you guys know what I'm talking about. Trend lines, rectangle. So I'm looking at this candle right here. Whoa, this red one, right? So the price action here is in line with the size of the candle because the ATR, sort of is within the body of the candle. That's what I look for, right? And if it is, then that's good. Where it's out of sync is when it spikes a lot higher and the volume is lower, right? So for example, if we go over to this one here, rectangle here, right? We saw a little less organized, coordination here where the volume was low, but we got a relatively big move on the candle. Now, this doesn't tell me a lot other than we might be hitting a reversal point or the start of a big continuation. Like I don't know which way it's going to go. This one, tells me likely the move is likely to continue, which in this case it actually bounced back before it started to continue. So I love those, short-term indications, especially when I'm taking those momentum trades like I just showed you. So I want to get rid of these boxes now. Come here, box. No, go away, box. Ah, anyways. All right. Well, it's dropping. So let's go back to the AMD trade that I took, just to give you a nice indication. See, when I took my trade on this one, right, where we got lowered volume, but also obviously a very low move. So this the ATR here was roughly in line. It was a little bit above this candle, but nothing was out of sync. So I was okay with that. That I would have loved actually if we got a big spike. I might have if we got a big spike on the ATR here. Low volume, but a big candle move. I might have taken a more aggressive stance on the reversal because it was in line. It was a little less certain in terms of the direction. So that's why I just, as you see, I took my partial, very aggressively moved my stop to break even and just let it stop me out. So that's how I, use that number. And it's useful when you do momentum. It is not useful when I do my bigger trades, my mountain pass. That doesn't mean much, right? It doesn't do much for me. So, all right. So where are we going here on what's Tesla doing right now? Tesla not doing much, is it? Why can't I? There we go. We'll remove that. There we go. Get rid of those two boxes. Watch Tesla. It's slower today, isn't it, than yesterday? Yesterday we had some big moves. Not as many moves today, so a little quieter. Uh Sunita, you're looking at Meta. Meta is sort of at the low of the day area, right? Doesn't mean much. This is not really a big move for a $700 stock, an $8 move. It's 1%, just over 1%. Um, Yeah, I don't see a lot happening here. I mean, if it's a trade you like and you've got a setup to it, but I don't know if here at this level is Meta going to bounce or is it going to drop? I don't see anything on the level two, right? No big orders lining up either way. Look, it's pretty dead. There's nothing happening right on the level two. And I can tell that by just scanning for those black boxes like I was talking about. Any order size over 5,000 shares. That'll give me an indication. So look at Tesla. Let's see, what is Tesla? Yeah, Tesla only. It's not a good example. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of volume anywhere, actually. I was trying to show you an example of where we had black boxes. How about NVIDIA? NVIDIA is a little bit better, where you can at least see some of the larger orders, right, lining up. Now, because we've got some on the top side and the downside, it doesn't give me a good indication as to where we're going, but at least you can see, right, there's more volume in it. There's more happening on Tesla, on NVIDIA, sorry. What is the you're asking about Meta, what is the RVol? No, RVol in Meta is actually higher than normal, but still, I don't know. No, I've got no signals from it personally. If you do, then by all means. Baidu? There's one we haven't looked at in a while. Baidu do. I don't know. Baidu, this looks horrible to me. Look how slow it is. How slow things are moving. Yikes. It doesn't even got over 1 million shares yet today. These are ones that I struggle to trade. Other people can, have great trades on them. Like, that's not to say that you can't get a good trade. Of course you can. It doesn't fit sort of my strategy and the way I look at things very easily. So, no, oh, looks like trading has slowed down in the chat room. Andrew is out of all of his trades. Brian is are out of his trades. It's quieter for everybody. AMD is retesting the high here. Look, we got a little bit of a double top forming. Now, this is still a little early, right? We're only 10:13, and I don't see volume at the high of day. Would want a really real big volume spike at the previous high of day that was set. I do not see that, which means this would not qualify as a mountain pass for me at this point. It could very well go higher. If you're a long trader, this may be, what you would consider an ABCD or a range pullback, right? Let's add some studies in here. If I add, let's say, moving average, for example, right? Oops, add a moving average. I'm going to add two of them. Let's add a 9. What's going on here? Study two, moving average type. All right. A 9 period moving average. I want the line to be, I used to use a green line for that. Oops. That's the one. All right. So, whoa, what the heck? Heck is going on here, source? Moving average type. Oh, here. I see. Maybe this is what I'm doing wrong. I haven't set up a moving average in a very long time. Whoa, that looks horrible. That is not what I'm looking to do. Huh. What am I doing wrong? Exponential 9. Hmm. That looks better. Now I have too many lines. Let's get rid of some stuff here. We'll get rid of this, and we'll get rid of this, and we'll get rid of this. Get rid of this. No, let's get rid of 200. Oh, yeah, I get rid of that. All right. There you go. That's better. Oh, and now I'm not showing you my trades. Whoops. Show trades, show orders. There you go. All right, we're back. Oh, what happened? Testify. Yeah, he's testifying, which really just means he's answering questions, right? I think it's a formal Q&A, right? The House, the Senate, they usually get opportunities to talk to the Fed chair because it's a independent organization, right? They get to probe into their decisions and actions. It's meant to be, a double check. Unfortunately, in recent decades, it's been used more as a political, activity, right, to try and score points or make a political point than it has been actually as a check on the Fed. But it's still there for that purpose, and I think it's a good thing to do. Whether or not anything comes out of it needs to be done. There will come a day where that will be needed, and you need that mandatory activity. So sometimes you got to just, you know, live with it until you do need it. Wow, what is wrong with these candles? It's like day glow. The problem, when you set up a new chart. Let's see here. Can I get these to like just a less glaring color? It's better. Wow. All right. PLTR. Wow, that's bold, Ian. You're saying PLTR is about to pop up. You're calling it in advance. Okay, we'll see if you're right. I don't know. I don't see any sign it's about to pop up. I mean, it could. I would call it a 50-50. It's a crapshoot at best. It's definitely up here in the, start in the consolidation area that it's set pre-market. Let's look back a little bit longer. What does it look like here off of the, yeah, previous days? Don't see a lot of support. 142 might be an area of support or resistance up here. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out if you're right or not. You missed the SMCI breakout. SMCI, yeah, did break higher here. Let's show you guys that. Where's SMCI? There it is. Hmm. Well, not that far of a break. I mean, you didn't miss that big of a move. Looks like so far Powell hasn't said anything, really controversial because the market after this initial drop here, it looked like it was going to head lower. It's just sort of been creeping back up. So maybe he had one comment and then, the market got comfortable. All right. What else, you guys? My DOS setup. One, I'm always happy to. The only thing I'll keep, I'll remind people is that there is uh, DOS setups are very screen specific and like spatially specific. So I've got six screens, so you're only seeing one of the six. And if your screens aren't in the same position, my stuff's going to be like in nowhere. Like it's going to be displayed, but maybe not in a space that you have a screen, if that makes sense. So I'm happy to share it. Just know it may not sort of show up as you want, but what you could do is you could take some of the chart configurations. Like if you like a specific chart or something, then I can also share that, and then you can just use that as a loaded, chart as you can get all the studies and stuff sort of pre-configured. At least that you can just apply to any chart you want. But I'm happy to share it. It's send me an email. The best way to do it, Peter at bearabletraders.com. You can email me anytime, and I will happily send it to you. You just let me know what you want. If you want the chart that you're seeing, if you want the full DAS layout, I will send you both. In fact, let me save my DAS layout here so that I could send it to you if you wanted. So here we go. Yeah, just email me. Tesla. Yeah, see, Tesla, I've had this problem all morning in finding an entry on Tesla, right? This pullback, I don't like when it pulls back into this previous day close area like I was telling you guys about, but it sold off again. I was looking for a pullback right at the open. I didn't get it. Like it's just not giving a good risk to reward entry, despite clearly being weak all morning. So, which is too bad. Nvidia, yeah, Nvidia is now getting harder to trade. It's chopping in a zone. And AMD. AMD. Oh, it looks like Andrew and Brian are going to be joining me here. So we'll hear from them momentarily as they're jumping in. So, all right. And we'll get some more voices on here talking with you guys. Andrew can share his trades, let you know how his day is going. So, and hey, did I call it or what? It looks like Carlos is trading PLTR as expected. That's his go-to, right? It's good to know when we can see people trading and understand how they trade. So we
How are
called
you,
Carlos's trade
Peter?
even if we didn't see him do it.
Peter, how are you?
Oh, Andrew, I'm doing great. I'm hearing myself echo suddenly. There we go.
Um, all right. So, yeah, we joined you.
Echo.
Oh, now I
We
got your.
joined you because we thought that you're trading alone. I feel
All
lonely. You
alone.
seem lonely. Brian is also here.
Yep, I'm here.
All
AMD.
right.
Look at that.
So, what did you
Could be a
do,
nice money.
Peter? We did AMD and NVIDIA. I'm still long in NVIDIA as well, although I don't have much of a hope on this freaking NVIDIA to do anything.
Yeah, what's going on here? Wait. I just traded. I tried a short on AMD and got a little partial and then was stopped out on it. I don't know what screen is being shared right now, but I did trade that live with people in the room,
Nice.
and but that was it. Really, really quiet for me so far this morning. Not the same opportunity we had yesterday, is there?
Well,
Yesterday
AMD
No,
was
was.
amazing.
you're
I
right.
know you're not trading at the open, but AMD was really nice rip.
Hmm.
NVIDIA was also really nice rip. It wasn't that bad. Like I'm kind of
No, wasn't that
satisfied.
bad.
Like I'm not greedy. That's good. What else do you want?
Well, that's good. You know, hey, look, it's you got your trade opportunity, and you know, if you're happy with it, then that's what matters.
Yeah, Carlos did a nice trade on PLTR. So lots of opportunity. Tesla is saying, Brian did a really nice short on Tesla, I think, at the open.
Yeah,
Brian
got
did
a
a nice
nice
short
short
on.
down to S3. I kind of missed that second wave. We came back up to the VWAP. I mentioned it as a possible area where it would reject, but I didn't take the trade, but a number of our traders in the room took it and got that move right back down to S3 again. It's just a really nice VWAP rejection.
Yeah, bonds are moving up very nicely.
Yeah, we've just looking at the Fed Watch tool. It's looking like we're at this point, very little chance of a rate cut in July. Next meeting, and then August, there's no meeting. In September, it looks like markets pricing in at least one rate cut. So
Yeah, I was saying Powell seems to have he's managing his comments well. He's not saying anything too controversial, as the market seems pretty stable. He's testifying to the House Finance Committee right
yes,
now, so pretty quiet on that front. Oh, look at AMD did get to a
yeah, I
high.
do use Camarillo
Tough trade.
pivots. Yes, I have them on my daily charts, or my 2-minute charts, I should say. Kind of look for bounces off S3 and S4. I don't have all the Camarilla pivots on, just the 3 and the 4 and the 6.
Three, the 4, and the 6.
Yeah, I find the 1 and the 2 are just too tight for, if you're looking for reversal trades, they're too tight. Um, if you're looking for a good opportunity for a trend change, it's 3 or 4, S3 or S4, R3 or R4. It's the same ones that Thor uses primarily. Yeah, Tesla's breaking down. Sell the news.
Yeah, Tesla. It just never pulled back, Brian. I was looking for a rising devil on Tesla at the open, and it never pulled
Yeah.
back to give me the entry, which is too bad because yeah, it looks good. It's been great all morning. They're short.
Yeah, I actually had tried it. I tried it long at the open. I kind of thought it was going to pull back and bounce, but so I ended up, well, first trade was a loser, and then when it just kept selling, that's when I went short.
Loser.
You call me a loser,
Carlos, welcome
Peter?
back.
Hey, is something wrong with Andrew's camera, or he just stepped away for a minute?
I don't know. He did get frozen, didn't he? So
Yeah, he's
I'm
frozen.
not sure what.
Okay. All right, maybe he
Carlos
just stepped
did a
away.
nice trade on PLTR.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know what?
yeah,
That
And I
beautiful.
called it, Carlos. Flipped to PLTR. Tell me, what time did you get in it? I didn't even see your
Okay.
trade, but
All right,
you
I'll
got
tell you.
long at around 9:50, 9:52, right? 9:53?
PLTR, I'll tell you right now. No, a little bit earlier, 9:45. Which
Oh,
one?
9:45.
What time you called?
Okay.
Yeah, 9:45.
Okay. Okay. I was around the 950. I was looking at it. I said, this looks like a Carlos type long. This is the type of thing he would look for. So, but you got it even earlier. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
got it right
Nice.
off the VWAP there. Worked out pretty nice.
Beauty.
I saw you was trading AMD. I was looking over a little bit. Did you stay in it? I think you were long on that, right?
Who, me?
Who you?
No.
You? Yeah, did you trade AMD or?
No.
Oh, I thought I saw you.
Oh,
long.
I tried a short.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
tried a short. I was looking for a reversal once AMD had pulled up. I didn't catch the long. No, that's unfortunately not sort of my trade setup. But yeah, it had a good one. In fact, even Nvidia had it even better. I would argue long when it sort of consolidated at VWAP and then took off earlier this morning. But yeah, not something that I was watching, unfortunately, or able to trade. So
Just taking a bit of a long here on AMD off the VWAP bounce. See where it goes. I'll take a bit of profit here, just trading options, just because I'm not expecting a huge move. So 137 calls. Oh, here we go. Nice. Bit more of a move there.
Nice, Brian. AMD is this one you're in?
Yeah, right. VWAP is turning out these VWAP rejections are turning out to be good, always good trades, almost always.
Yeah,
Can't
I
say
love the
always.
VWAP, man. Love trading off the VWAP.
Yeah,
It's like my 5 minute RB is my favorite one, no question. But we find a lot of good VWAP plays, man. It's up there. It's getting up there with
yeah.
my 5 minute RB.
they are.
Just selling
Dude.
some more here at 210.
I'm not sure. Andrew's screen seems to be stuck on TLT here. He's just watching.
No,
So I don't know if
his
TLT.
screen is running. I think he just probably just turned his camera stepped away. That's all.
yeah.
If you can hear us
TNT.
and you're
So
trying to trade, let
TNT.
us know. But I think he just stepped away.
all right. Well, we have other screens if you
Right.
want.
Well, let's see where AMD goes. See if we can get through the. We're down below the 9 and the 20 EMA moving averages right now. So I'm seeing if we it rejected at the 20 there. So if we can break through there, we might get back to 137 on the stock price.
Nvidia's trying to do something.
Yeah, maybe. You still hanging on to
Nvidia has
PLTR
looked
there,
like
Carlos?
No, man. Let me show
Come
you
on.
my no, you know what? We're coming up on the what was it? The news release, and I'm like, I am not gonna hold on through it. So, I'll show you my trade here. Let me bring up my setup. So here is my trade. That's the 1 minute. Yes, right chart. So here it is. As you guys know, the usual VWAP breakout. Here's the pullback, confirmation candles, beautiful confirmation candle goes red. We wait for it on the green side. We're going long here. So I thought it was not going to happen. Like when it turned red here, I'm like, okay, that's it. It's not going to work out. Because I'll show you another one that we were trading live with the P Capital team where I did not take. But this one set up nicely, went long. And it took a while to get going. I took some risk off because it was taking way too long. Partial, then partial. Then it started to get going. Then here's coming up at 10 o'clock. I did not like the setup going into that news release that was going to happen. So I'm like, I don't want to give this money back. We got 90 cents, almost $1 on it. I don't want to give it back. So I just took everything off here. And then as soon as I take everything off, you know what happens, Peter.
Yeah.
It takes off. But
Yeah.
you just never know. Your news can go from here all the way to down to 138.50 and put me in a bad situation. So you never know how it's going to react. I didn't have enough cushion to survive the news release. So I said I'm just out of it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's look at this. It's 142. Unbelievable.
Yeah, nice.
All right. My wife
All
just
right.
texted me and said the air conditioning isn't working. And like I said, when it gets to the
I'm
temperatures
having the
we've been
same
having,
problem. I'm having the same problem.
that's
Oh,
bad. That's
oh,
bad. And she's upstairs, so she's gonna start to boil. So
yeah, it's
Uh-oh.
hot, man.
Tell her
It's
time to
hot.
go maybe she should go to the office, Peter. The air
yeah,
conditioning's working
m-
there.
maybe. I think she would rather suffer the heat than have to drive to her office. She hates going down there. So
Oh, okay.
Christian, it is. I'm
uh,
not sure you are, man, but here it's the same thing. My AC is on blast, and literally my office is 77, and I got this thing. I mean, you could hear it. It's humming, and we're talking about a 12,000 BTU, and I got a small office. Like it's not that big, but
huh.
it's just so hot, man. It's just so hot.
All right, well,
And
I
I'm
better
sure
go.
the two computers I'm running here with a
Yeah, well,
3090 and a 2070 is not working. It's not helping. These things are like heaters.
that's the
Oh
thing.
my god, that's not
I
helping. Yeah,
actually so I normally all year I my office is so warm like in the winter I don't need to heat it at all because the computer
same,
equipment keeps it warm.
same here.
And
Yeah,
and so I've tried all sorts of things to like block the vent because with central heating you got the vents in the room. So I found the best thing is I actually have a here, let me show you. I have a I have a ceramic tile that like left over from our kitchen reno that I found that I just put that over the take the insert out and just put this over the vent and it works great. It just it stops all the heat and the cold and then I so I took it off today saying, "Oh, let's let the cold air in." I wonder if I like uncalibrated the system or something by taking it off.
you messed up the pressure
Anyways,
points of the entire system.
maybe. I mean, my AC is only like 2 or 3 years old here, so it should still be, you know,
Nah, it's
it's
brand
all
new.
under warranty and
Yes,
everything,
yeah.
so I'll have to go check it out, see what's going on. But
Sean, I
Sorry, if
live
we
in
weren't
Teaneck.
on,
Yes, I'm in Teaneck, New Jersey.
yeah, if we weren't on YouTube, I could play "It's Getting Hot in Here" by Nelly
there
for you,
you
Carlos.
go.
Yeah. Oh man,
Just don't take
good
off all
summer
your
song.
clothes.
Good summer song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just keep the clothes on.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. What's everyone else trading out there? Hymns? You were trading hymns? I haven't, wasn't watching that one today. It's up a little bit off that big sell-off.
Yeah. It was a big sell-off.
It's bouncing back a bit.
Sort of missed that high on AMD. That's too bad.
Striking a straddle on CRCL. So you're probably getting some really good premium on that straddle because I think this is pretty volatile. The IV is the IV is pretty high on this. Not a lot of not a lot of price action here today. We're trading pretty much in a very narrow range, and we really haven't broken out from the pre-market range on the Qs or the SPY. SPY, we went down and kind of tested that 604 level. Um, Came back above it. 605.80 is roughly pre-market high on the SPY. We really haven't gotten very close to that, except for maybe in the first 15 minutes. Looked like we were going to try to get there. Same with the Qs. Very narrow range. 536.20, 538.50.
There it is. My disappearing clock. All right. Yeah. What else we got going on here?
James Long. Yeah, this is a day where it's maybe not a bad idea just to chill a bit. If you haven't caught any of these early moves. Yeah, coin is breaking out. Wow. What's it look like on a weekly here? Weekly, it's coming up to all-time high, 350. What's the all-time high close is 343.60.
Wow, we are settling into a range here. Not a surprise after the big moves we had yesterday that it's going to be a little quieter today.
Yeah, I like to call these the hangover days. You have the big
Yeah.
big party, and then bit of a hangover the next day. Kind of reestablishing sort of where value is. The short float on coin is about 6%. So fair amount of shorts in that. Not huge, but there's a few people hurting today. Back at all-time high. Just some of the fundamentals. PE is 62. That's really high. It's trading at about 12 times sales. That's pretty high. Looks like Nvidia is sort of slowly catching a bid here. Maybe creeping its way back up to 148.
All right, guys, I'm back.
And coin, yeah.
Andrew's
Coin
back.
is breaking
All right.
out. Yeah.
All right, so
Andrew's
Nvidia
back.
Are you back?
Yeah,
Are you back long
Yeah, I gotta-
Nvidia?
yeah, I'm still long on Nvidia.
Okay.
Sorry,
Cool.
I took a shower. Needed to be a little bit fresh. Yeah.
Okay.
But I was monitoring the situation on my phone, so I knew I had the position on
Situation was
Nvidia.
good.
Well, you-
It was
you
good. Like I was taking a shower like this.
Make sure nothing breaks.
I think you should-
Like,
Love it, love it.
No,
That's
you should have like I'm surprised you don't have a screen in your shower.
I think
That's,
so. I think I should have the screen everywhere. Yeah.
oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, you could just hook up a screen that is all connected.
Yeah, exactly. Like while you're taking a shower, you're just looking at the NVDA.
Oh, man, every trader has
There
done
you
that.
go.
What trader has not done that? Has their hand
Chris-
off so the phone doesn't get wet with the soap.
I don't think I've ever needed a shower bad enough while live trading that I had to just go take a shower in the
Yeah.
middle of a trade. So
Yeah,
I
maybe
did.
maybe if you're
I
trading
did. I did.
crypto.
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
True.
maybe if you're trading crypto, you need to do that. Oh, Mary, AMD is breaking out there. It's been staying above the VWAP, which is a good thing.
Oh, AMD bounced back to the VWAP, huh?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Me and Peter are gonna hop off and take care of a few things. Over on YouTube, thank you so much, guys. Hit that thumbs up.
Okay.
We're at 325. We'd love to be a little bit higher. 450 would be awesome. Take care, guys. We'll be in chat. We'll see you tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Carlos. Thank you, Peter. Yeah, AMD. Oh, there goes AMD. Yeah, nice. Getting a rip. Getting a rip.
Spies going higher. Hues are
Yeah, SPY. We're going to
high.
start to test these pre-market highs here by the looks of it.
What's the hue doing? Yeah, so the situation is good. I'm still holding NVDA. See if it's gonna go higher.
Yeah, looks like yeah, we may, like I said, we're retesting these market highs. High of days. Tesla really does kind of trading a bit like sell the news after they've released after they've done this rollout of the Robotaxi. CRCL. I mean, it's there's really it's hard to say where CRCL is going to be on Friday. I mean, there isn't a lot of you know a lot of technical. There isn't enough data for a decent technical analysis. I mean, the biggest thing that stands out to me is this 200 level is a gap fill. But that's a long way from where we're sitting right now.
So what are you trading, Brian? Are you in anything?
No, I traded AMD bounce, and then it came back to the VWAP and it stopped me out at break even, and then it bounced again there. So it did get a partial when went back to the 20 moving average. But it looks like the semis want to maybe rally some more here. AMD has a big order at 137.50. NVIDIA has a big order at 148. Kind of feels like CRCL could go back to yesterday's low, which is where S4 is. That's 233.
All right, so we are sitting on NVIDIA. I'm holding NVIDIA. I want to
Yeah.
see if we can actually go for the breakout high of the day. We don't have that much time
Yeah.
left for the breakouts.
It's just it's sitting under R4. These Camarilla pivot level.
But today is a great day.
Resist.
Like bonds are up, stocks are up,
Yeah.
it's down. What else do we want? Really? Pieces out there. What do we want from life?
Everything's good.
Life is good. All right, let's see if what the Benzinga says. Russell 2000 is running up. IWM.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because yields are dropping.
When we did have Benzinga during the testimony, I don't think it's says anything. I think it's over.
Yeah.
I will stay in touch with other regulators, banks, other
Oh no, it's still going up.
parts of government to be to be on alert for possible cyber attacks.
Hmm. So we're still stuck in this range here. What have we got for earnings tonight? We've got FedEx, which will be kind of interesting. Delivery companies are always a good sort of indicator of how good the economy is. If people are moving goods around, that's usually a good sign. SMCI, is that another? That's probably another SMCI is kind of moving up a bit. NVIDIA might be dropping back down to the VWAP here. SMCI is really stuck in, again, is sort of stuck in a trading range here for the last, I would say, month almost.
ATHL shares resuming now at $5.89 off the low. Hotel Charlie, Hotel Lima.
HCHL. Wow, this one is a recent IPO. HCHL got halted on the way down. Imagine you IPO and then your stock drops. Get halted.
COSM Cosmos Health entered U.S. market with strategic made in American manufacturing to start U.S. production at GMP certified facilities. Charlie Oscar Sandy Michael.
Hood's doing well today. Yeah, Hood's up quite a bit. It's breaking out. It's been on a real tear since the beginning of April. Let's take a look at some of the fundamentals on Hood. Again, forward PE 53, 54. It's trading at 22 times sales. It's really quite high.
Which one?
But
HCHL.
doesn't really matter. It's whatever the market puts the value of it on.
Right. Thor is here. Thor, where are you? Are you in San Francisco?
Is Thor here now? He was on a plane. He was in the airport yesterday trading.
Yeah. Sorry, where are you? May I ask?
Family up in the Carolinas, so nowhere fancy.
Nice, nice. All right, so the Thor is here. The man himself. So
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go slowly wrap it off. I still have some NVIDIA shares. Stop out at 146.83. It was a really solid day. Close position, we are at 22,000, so that's pretty good. And yeah, we do sit in some positions here to see what's happening. And yeah, well, see you guys tomorrow. Tonight, Mike is having a presentation on strategy. So at 8 p.m. Eastern time for all the Elite members, guys. Looking forward to see you guys. Avi is traveling until the 4th of July, so he's not going to have his presentations at 11 for BBT members. So until he comes back next week. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. And if there is any question, feel free also reach out to me, guys. Email me.
Yeah.
Ciao.
For sure. Cheers, everyone. And we'll let Thor take it away.
Hey everybody! Hey, thanks Brian for turning it over.
Cheers.
Andrew, great morning session as always. Man, always great watching you guys do your thing. But it is good seeing everybody out there. Hello, everybody out in YouTube land. Just a couple of quick little. So first off, I have had no trades today. Because I'm on my travel setup, I wasn't ready to trade equities today, and we had a really lovely call. Let me get my screen up. Sorry, I didn't realize it wasn't showing. One second. Hold on one second. What happened there? Oh, hold on. I haven't used this system on really quick. I need to grant it access. Hold on. All right, hold on. It's gonna make me quit and reopen, Carlos. I'm sorry. One second, I'll be
Yeah,
right
go
back.
for it, man. Go for it. Do what you gotta do. All right, guys. As Thor does that, let me show you guys my trades today. So, for me, POTR was the trade I traded this morning, and as you can see here, this is the move that we always look for. So just kind of recap. Let me see if I get my camera going too. And then Thor was gonna be back in just a second here. This should be it right here. Oh, there we go. We're still here. Good. All right, so for my trades PLTR, as you can see here, again, this beautiful move off the VWAP. We took it long. Actually, I traded live with Thor. Thor was in our mentee setup there, so he was trading as well. He didn't take any trades, but we were talking through PLTR, and he called him. It's gonna keep going, Carlos. Hang in, hang in. So the news coming out at 10, I'm like, I don't want to see what happens next. But it did. It worked out exactly as the data was showing. And look at this beautiful move to 142. One of the members in our chat room took a beautiful trade. He got in somewhere around here for the breakout and got out like at 142. I saw 142. He hit 142. Yeah, he did. He got out like at 142. So actually right over here. Yeah, he went up. He took this big move. So shout out to him. And then another trade, I see Thor's almost back here, but another trade is as he's setting that up, I had AMD. So AMD, if you look at AMD here, again, a 5-minute ORB was lovely. The beautiful setup here. Went long for the 5-minute ORB, took a nice partial, and then it just failed. So got out with a little slippage at break even. Thought about getting it in again, but I was already in PLTR. But I wish I would have traded this one instead, because look at this move on AMD. Just beautiful. So hopefully you guys caught that. All right, Thor, my man, I see you already ready to rock and roll. Oh, but I don't have your sound now. Let me just make sure it is not me. And
Back
it
here.
might be me. I got you. It's me.
Is it me? Okay, cool. Great. Thank goodness, because from my end of things, that would have been way more complicated.
Yeah, you're not trying to mess around with the system anymore. I get it, man. You're good.
Right on. So, but thanks, brother. Thanks for covering for a sec. So, hi, everybody back out there on YouTube. So, back at it. So you can see here the PLTR, we had a call. We didn't have a lot of calls today, actually. But PLTR came in pretty hot, pretty early. And with this really nice downward sweep, it was a beautiful buy at S3, but I wasn't for the S3 to R3, which you can see it did its run beautifully. So we got that, but unfortunately I didn't take it because I'm not set up for equities right now because I'm traveling, which is fine. So I did get a I was watching Platinum actually alerted, which was pretty sweet. And I was, hold on, why are we not loading Platinum? Come on now. We'll just do the old school way. Platinum ended up being also another really good S3 buy today. So what I'm waiting for right now, which I'm a little concerned may just never happen. So like yesterday was a really nice trading day, hit my full target within like 10 minutes of the day. Today's going to be the opposite. I'm hunting this December high area. That's right here. I think that's going to be a really good one. So I'm really kind of keeping an eye on that one. So and see what we can get. So oh nice. So yeah. So some announcements for everyone who is just coming in today. And you haven't heard announcement number one, a reminder to everybody that Thor mode is now available on TradingView. So for those of you who have been using TradingView and have been enjoying all the hard work we've been putting into this new system, Thor mode should be now available in the production version. So if you notice when you look at your cams that you have your Camaria pivot plays and there's a little bitty refresh icon over here to the side, make sure you get in there and reload that. And then you're going to go into settings and you will now have this lovely thing right here, good old Thor mode. So if you want to know what settings I use, you no longer have to ask. All you got to do is go into TV, hit the button for Thor mode, and call it done. Yeah, absolutely, Sunita. This is a free indicator, so it is not dependent upon the subscription level of TradingView you have. There are some things TradingView will let you do, like setting the alerts to like watch list and stuff that come with premium, but this will work either way. What your screen? So TradingView, David, does that from time to time, especially if you're switching through tickers very quickly. I've noticed that TradingView sometimes will just smush and then you have to expand everything. So I think that might be a rendering bug more so than anything else. So, but we'll keep an eye on that to see if we can come up with something, because that happens even when those different things happen. So Pretty Bird, not completely. There is a toss version that I do have, which I can certainly share with you if you'd like. It looks like this. Oh, actually, I might not have that in this version. Never mind. I won't have that in this version. I'll have to say it when I'm back next week. If you want, I can give that to you. If not, let me DM me and see if any of my people have a copy of. Oh, that one should still be good. Hold on, let me get it for you. I think I know some place where I have it. The link. Here we go. That should be it right there. Try that link. I just pasted it into the chat. That is my my pivot config for toss. And then if you're interested in them, these are also the same ATR guides that I use. I've also had them for toss. So the top one's my pivot configuration in toss. The second one is my ATR guides in toss. Let me know if any of those links end up being broken, and I can try and regenerate them for you. So right now, what I'm working on now, or what I'm hoping for, is I'm still waiting for the market to rally a bit more. I want us to get closer to pre-market high R4 in this December high. Once we get up here, I'd really like to see that. The Thor mode should be available on all versions of TV, as far as I'm aware, Dan. Ooh, so a little housekeeping. Have you done it yet today? Are you watching this feed? And while watching this feed, you have not yet liked or thumbs up or hearted or something. I don't know, whatever they are. If you haven't, please, housekeeping moment, please go in there and smash that thing. Right, we want to make sure we want to keep bringing as much content to the channel as possible. So I make sure. If you don't see the links, what may have happened is when I posted them, the YouTube's safety stuff may have killed it, because it doesn't like, sometimes they don't like links and stuff like that. Let me see if I can. Let me try, and I'm going to break this link intentionally and see if it works. You're just going to have to fix it. Okay. Let me see. Can you see that one? I just posted one. Let me know if you can see that one. Yeah, so it's not letting me no, not the Amazon one. That's my book. Although I appreciate the book link. Okay, so it's killing my links when I try and send them. So it won't let me. So do me a favor. If you really need the link, Thor at variabletraders.com. I'm gonna hate my life for even saying this, but just shoot me an email and I'll send you the link. Or if you're a Bearable Traders member, yeah, same thing. Shoot me an email and I'll get it to you. Maybe. I mean, it's like 30% chance. Oh, that's a good idea. Um, Here's the ATR guide one. That was a really good idea. I should have just done that in the first place. You're smart. Don't email me now. They're right here. I wouldn't have replied anyway. There you go. I'll just leave those for a second so you can get the links. I know you'll have to manually type them, which is kind of a pain. Hold on a second. I want to check something. Give me 2 seconds. Let's see here. All right, I'm back. Okay. I won't be able to enlarge, unfortunately. So it's the best I can do. Like I said, I will try and do that. So and then we'll see what happens. Anytime I try and paste them, it kills them. So, but I don't know. Like I can see them when I paste them, but no, I'm not gonna paste the whole code in there. That would just completely. Oh, I see what when I tried to paste before, that still didn't work, but I can I could just give you this part and then you could just put in the toss part. Uh, any luck there? Irish, anytime you post the links, we're not going to see them, I think. Because even when you posted it earlier, I think it got it. It took it away. So you'll be able to see the link. Nobody else will. So what else? So yeah, YouTube won't allow links, but I just posted the ends, and you should be able to see the ends, maybe. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Where's my man at? There he is. The problem is for all of that stuff, I'm kind of a player, not like, you know what I mean, when it comes to this thing. So, I mean, I can edit descriptions and stuff like that. It would just be, let me try this one more thing here, and then if it doesn't work, we'll move on. Please. post this into YouTube. ATR guides or toss. All right. So it's a exclamation HL2W51. So I messaged to Carlos if he happens to be available or around. I'll have him and see if he can post them. If not, just to that. I already posted that above. So I already posted the just the end parts, and you can see those up above, right around Rose. Rose put out Thor, are they available in the shared folder in BBT? Answer yes. But you can see on either side of those, those are the ones. So if you just copy that end part and then paste it after HTTPS toss.mx, and then just do slash and then paste the rest, and you should be good to go. So if not, we will work on getting those links into you all. So now on the cams work very, very well. But I will say that they are not, I have not visited them for a few months. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're looking at it. There is, now that we have our Thor mode going on TV, we will be revisiting toss to see if we can match them up a little bit. So, but we're just going to be giving that a little bit of time to make sure that happens. Yep. Oh, yes, the order block indicator. It's an ICTC concept by Lux Algo. I don't use any of it other than this order block thing because I really like it. And I'm looking at a swing look back of only 3. So it's a very, very loosely defined order block, I guess you could say. And I look back at the last 4. So you can see here, I might want to go back to the 4. This almost seems a little too easy to call. But basically what I'm looking for year, you can see we had this big area. We created an order block here. So the thought would be a long. But what I'm looking for right now is I'm still waiting for us to rally all the way up to here. And this is where I want to get short, up here, if it ever makes it. If it doesn't make it, I'm not going to take a trade today. Yes, there is a difference between standard cams and mine. Now, that being said, standard cams work, right? So if you take the principles of my book and you apply them to any cam configuration, it will work, right? Because all the cams are all based on value concepts, and my book works on value concepts. So all of that stuff's always going to line up, right? Our 4 rejections, no matter what it is always going to be in the same thing, right? So if you understand the system and the methodology in which I'm using, then it doesn't have. Now, my cams are what I believe to be the best calculation to utilize for both equities and futures, right? You don't, it's, I personally believe. Now I have my own particular way, right? I won't call it proprietary because I tell it to everybody, so it doesn't matter. And it's in public scripting, you can literally download. So it's hard to call it proprietary, although I guess I'm the only one who does it. But it is my personal preference on the OHLC of the previous day. Right. So the cams are calculated using the open, the low, the high, and the close. Right. Well, not the open, the high, the low, and the close of the previous day. Right. So depending on how you call those different things, right? High of day, that's very arbitrary. There's a lot of different, you'll notice almost every platform slightly defines high of day, a couple ticks one way or the other. Right. And people are the same way. So it's, you have to really kind of figure out what is high of day for you. Is it session high, or is it open session? Is it the total session, which includes pre-market and post-market, or is it the open session? Is it a higher range? Is it a lower range? Is it a wider range? Is it a narrow range? Dave, that is a little bit too much to probably go into now, but basically what I've done is I've shifted my time frames. Like for instance, I force the RTH close is really the big thing that I do that nobody else really does. No matter what calculation method I'm utilizing from which time frame, I always force the RTH close as my calculating method, and that's the big difference between mine and everybody else's. Right. A lot, there's quite a few people that define the high and the low the way I do, but forcing the RTH close is something that I generically am that tends to be my signature for my calculation. So the good thing about having Thor mode on TV is you don't have to worry about any of those things. As I go, as I make adjustments, all you'll have to do is update Thor mode, which is pretty fantastic. There was one I missed. I want to go back up. The description of the 12 plays is on the indicator's website, Jasmine. So if you go in there and look at the actual indicator, there's a little cheat sheet that will show you all the plays. It looks like it basically looks like this, but it's a little bit better defined. I don't have a copy of it on me right now, but it basically looks like this. I don't know why I don't have it. Hold on, let me check my downloads. I swear I have this. Yeah, there it is. Right here. So this is basically, so as you're looking, if it says like higher range or lower range, those are pulled off of here. So you'll get like if your play is like a HF, for instance, that's a R6 reversal in a higher range, right? So it'll give you the HF. It also spells it out, but in Thor mode, do we need to? Brett just answered this, but it auto calculates. So everything in TV is plug and play. We just got a call on Netflix. So everything on TV is plug and play with Thor mode. You will not have to switch anything. Once you are in and once you have it working, right, it's done. I mean, that's one of the big advantages to utilizing this methodology is there is no customizing, right? One of the things that I find very difficult in the stock trading world is, and we were hoping to solve that with this indicator a little bit. TV is incredibly cost efficient. Rogelio? It is extremely cost effective. So you'll find that you enjoy it quite. I think if you my recommendation, by the way, no affiliation for the record from me on this. My recommendation is wait for like the 4th of July or like a Memorial Day or a Labor Day. They run really big, like 80% off, like kind of style 70%. I think they're on a 70% now, but they run 70%, 80% off, and you can sign up for the whole year when it happens. I think for me, with my data costs and everything, I'm going to be under $400 for the entire year for TV. So because Tofi, that's when I got mine, Black Friday. It was like 85% or something on Black Friday. It was huge. Now you can those things do prorate, by the way. So if you do sign up and then something like, and you do the month to month, and then one of those deals comes out, they will let you to get it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, Tofi. Renew every Black Friday, basically, right? Quick question on this. Is it important to take a trade right off of a cam level? Stock bounces long? No, not important, Samir. Now, that being said, we are looking for algorithmic correlation. right? So in order for us to do what we're looking to do, we are looking for a general interaction with the level, right? So I do want it to get close to it. And let me show you maybe how I figure that out. It's actually a little bit rudimentary. I think but maybe you'll like that. Let's look at Netflix since it had an alert. Netflix is alerting right now near its ATR high, which happens to also be right near R4. It's in a wider range. It's actually calling a break up right now, which I would not generically play on a wider range. But it's what it is. So let's say I was looking to go short and I wanted to find a target. This is basically, let's say I wanted to go short and I wanted to hit my target before I get to R3. Oh, I don't have my Epic on. Oh, well, I'll just do this with I think they have box tools here. Hold on. I need a box. How do I make a box in this thing? Can I draw a box? Yes, box. Box. All right, so what I'll do, like, let's say I want to go short, right? This is how, and I want to get to a target by R3. This is what I do. I'll go like this and I'll make a box. Let me turn off the magnet so it doesn't keep anchoring. I do this in my head, obviously, but you can do this, this way if you want. So I take this box, right? And then I'm going to divide it in half. Right? After I divide it in half, you can see the halfway points there. Oh, it didn't do it. Hold on, box. Come on. It's a little clunky, sorry. There's our halfway point. You could use like a Fibonacci retracement or something like that basically to do it. I just want to show you guys it visually because it's going to make it a lot easier. And half one more time. All right, there's my entry zone. Yeah, exactly, Mark. Quartiles, right? So that if I was going to enter a short on this position right now, I would be okay with entering my short anywhere inside of that square, but nowhere else but inside of that square. Right? This is very important for those of you who have an issue with maybe chasing trades. Range traders, for the record here, momentum not quite, right? So basically, I just did this because I want to get target by R3, right? Like if I want a full range run, so this is really interesting. So now let's say we want to do a full range run, right? So we're thinking about getting short here, and we're thinking about getting a bigger run when it happens. This is important, right? Because let's say if we're going to sell from here and we want to go all the way to ATR low, this will give you a pretty good idea of what kind of stop you're going to run, right? So we click here. That's where our ATR low is. So that would be our biggest move we would expect to make, right? So our entry window is going to be a quarter, a quarter, and a quarter, right? So you're going to be talking somewhere like that is your entry window, right? So in this instance, if you're going for a long enough, if you're going for a long enough movement, you know what I'm saying? You could really run this one quite wide, right? So this will allow you to kind of hone your expectations. A lot of the times when traders, especially momentum traders, right? Most people who momentum trade are scalpers, right? Very, very few people who momentum trade are range traders or longer term traders or what we would call day traders. In scalping and day trading, actually, there is a slight difference between the two conceptually. If you were going to define things, like if you went down and someone asked you, what do you do? If you said, I'm a day trader, and then you told them that you take profit within like 25 or 15 cents or something of getting in, they'll go, you're not a day trader, you're a scalper. Right. So, but it's really important to stay in tune with that, because if you're a scalper, don't try to day trade. Like day trading is, if you're looking to take, like if our ATR is $25, if you're looking to make profit within $1 of that $25 or $2 of that $25, you're scalping. It doesn't matter what kind of entry methodology you utilize, you're still scalping. Right. Scalping is a distance moved in relation to ATR when you take profit. It's not it's not a method of control, right? It's completely different, right? So in a lot of the times we confuse that, right? It's kind of like the difference between a sprinter and a marathon runner, right? They're both running, they're both running on the same track, right? But a sprinter only runs 40 meters while a marathon runner runs 5K, right? And that's how you segment the two of those, right? A scalper is someone who is more akin to a sprinter. It doesn't matter how you come off the block, right? Everyone comes off a block, right? But the sprinter is going to come off the block, run really hard for 40 meters and then stop, right? Where a marathon runner is going to run at a pace and actually control their pacing, right? And they're going to work on their stride length, their breathing, all these other things have to happen to do marathon running, where when you're a sprinter, you just train fast twitch. So it's very, very important though, because if you are a sprinter, don't hold long positions. Like if your stops are that tight and you're trying to make money out of a quarter to 50 cents, please, for God's sakes, don't hold. You know what I mean? Like that's not what you're here for. You're a sprinter. That would be like running a 40 meter dash. And at the end of the 40 meters, just going, you know what? I'm going to become a marathon runner now. Like it's, you've exhausted your position through partialing. So it really makes no sense to even hold, right? But that's not what you do. You're not conditioned for that physically or mentally, right? And you will find that in relation to this as well. Look at this. We're coming off of R4. Right where we were. So Netflix, we had an alert here at R4, right? So so here's our, we're starting to sell off of R4 nicely as well. So you can kind of see how that all works, right? So Ben Colts. Ben, yeah, exactly. So Ben says prop firms would agree, and then Bernie said, could you elaborate? So what Ben means by prop firms would agree is that's exactly how a prop firm would define those two things. So if you were going to go talk to like Mike Bellafiore, for instance, right? And you say, and then Mike Bellafiore, if you asked him the definite, like, are you going to say, are most of your guys at SMB day traders or scalpers? Right. So he will define those things individually. Some people think scalping and day trading, you often have to meet pattern day trade in order to be able to scalp. This is true unless you're in a country other than the US, in which case it's not true. But day trading itself is not a status, right? Pattern day trader is a status. Day trading is a methodology, right? Which when you're scalping, you're not day trading, right? You're scalping, and you can be a pattern day trader and scalp. Right? Anybody know someone that we really love and follow and pay attention to every single day who day trades for a living but happens to be a scalper? We got quite a few of them in the room. Andrew, thank you. I want a trick question, right? Andrew day trades for a living, but he does it by scalping. Right? Brian day trades for a living. He does it by scalping, right? So I'm saying, there is scalping is a methodology, not a classification, I guess you should say. Right. So but it's important to stay in with that, right? Because why could it be really difficult to make money the same way Andrew does if you have a small bank account? What would be an adversity to making money in a small account if you're scalping similarly to the way that Paris or Brian or Andrew do? Carlos also scalps. Yes. Money. You won't make money. I was really trying to lead you around it. You're not going to make money. Right. You're going to have lots of arrows. You're going to have lots of trades, but you're going to have insanely small profits, right? You will not make money scalping as a small trader. Not saying you won't have the potential to make lots of money later, but you're going to need a big account for that. There is no way to make money in the stock market scalping with a really small account other than using options. Like you could technically use options, which is very dangerous in that regard, for the record. But you could use something like an option, right, or something like that in order to do that. But you're generically going to have a lot of trouble making decent money in the market with a smaller bank account if you're scalping, right? So, right. You could do low caps, obviously, Pedro. Right, low caps do, because of their spread and volatility, do give you the opportunity to make, and because of their inexpensive price. But low caps works for me, Pedro. Small caps, low caps, you can call them lower floats, like whatever you want, they all work, right? So I don't consider scalping dangerous. Oh, scalping options dangerous, because of your bank size to the relation of slippage versus fill. So just because options don't, when you get exercised in options, you are not the priority fill with such a small account, right? So it is possible, like, for you to take some fairly extreme slippage, if you're not really careful with a smaller account trading those. But I think, I think, you know what I'm saying? So what do you suggest? I suggest longer holds and no profit, no partialing, which is what I do, for the record. So I also don't have the world's largest bank account. I mean, I'm rocking solid 6 figures, so I'm happy. Things are good. But I mean, I can't lose 1% of my account for a day. You know what I mean? So generically, I'm risking a quarter of my, a quarter percent of my account to even a fraction of that. You know what I mean? But I make 800 to $1,000 a day, even though I'm only risking a quarter of my account, a quarter of a percent of, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's very, very small risk based upon my account size because I hold, right? Perfectly good example of, let me see if I have one in here. If you guys ever want to, just guys and gals want to see examples of a lot of the trades I take, you can just go to my social. I post trades that I take all the time, virtually daily. But if you go to you can follow me on X. You can go to my Instagram and my X are probably my most active. But you can go in here and you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Hold on. Oh, don't do that. I just want to click. Don't be weird. Hold on. I was going to just show you a couple. I miniaturized the chat and now I can't get it to come back up. I mean, I would have traded. I just didn't get a good, I got my call out was on PLTR and I couldn't do equities. And then I really liked platinum, but it didn't get low enough. Like, platinum was a really nice call. It just didn't, I saw it come off here. And if it had been a little closer, I probably would have hit it. So, but it just didn't quite get low enough for me. So I in hindsight, it was really, really nice. So, but yeah, I haven't taken any. So the main thing on, and I guess I can't find it here. Hold on, Chrome, new tab. Here we go. Got it. Okay, hold on. Well, of course, now my password's not working. All right, well, I guess that's just the way of keeping me from showing that. Okay, so what would have been my entry on PLTR? So anyway, what I was going to show you is, like, most of my trades are, you'll see if you go by my Instagram or my X, what you'll see is the vast majority of my trades are incredibly long holds, right? 4 to 1, right? So, and if you're really going to make money as a smaller bank in the stock market, That's how you do it, right? You will make the most money in stock trading when you do nothing. Your goal as a stock trader, and I know the 11 to 12 segment is going to be a very different segment than anything that comes before or after, right? And when it comes to the BBT community, not only am I the senior future trader, right, but I'm also, maybe along with Jared, probably the only non-scalper basically in the entire community, as far as it goes. I mean, maybe I'm trying to think of who else in the community isn't really more of a scalper. I just can't really think of one off. I think Jared and I are the only two who run ranges, like the way we do. So, and that's not a good thing or a bad thing one way or the other. It's just, if you have a smaller bank account, you will make the most money when when you are holding longer, taking less partials, and being very, very cautious with things like averaging down and all of these other things. Like, there are, you will witness often in this room, you will see people who are averaging down into their trades. This is something you can do if you have a very large bank account. This is not something you can do if you have a small bank account. You will blow up your bank account trying to average down like that. I actually don't think large bank accounts, I can't tell, I haven't averaged down on a position in maybe 7 or 8 years. That's how much I disagree with the concept of trying to average down. I also don't believe in graded setups either, for the record. A plus, B plus, C plus. It's a D setup. It's an A setup. There's only one setup, right? It's either a setup or it's not a setup, right? So I don't believe in all the gray area and all this stuff. It's either good or it's not. You know what I mean? So I agree with Avi to a degree, for sure. I wouldn't necessarily say, especially with the way he uses his Avenacci lines, and stuff like that. I still think T Diddy. In my book, I do not believe that I say that in my book that your hit rate should be 80% or above. I think I have I think I have some mention it that, but it is not necessary. No, my hit rate today actually leans more towards the 60% to almost 50% category now. So I would say I would say no. 20 out of your last 25 trades? Yeah, I don't necessarily. I'll have to revisit that section, T Diddy. My profit taking has evolved in the past 5 years. That's for sure. One of the things, like, I don't partial anymore. When I wrote the book, I was still partialing. When I don't momentum trade at all now. When I wrote the book, I was more of a scalper. Now I only use 4-to-1. Like, I don't ever I basically go for 4-to-1 every single target. And then I'm willing to hold longer if necessary. But even then, very rarely. I mostly only just hit targets and then I'm done. You know what I mean? But they're going to be full range run targets generically, right? I'm looking to buy S3 and go to R3. I want to run the entire ATR, or at least most of it. And that's what I'm saying. So that's how you really break out that definition, right? If the daily ATR is $50, so we move $50 every time this moves, then I'm going to try and get $40, $35 to $45 out of that move. Where a scalper is going to be looking to get $3 out of that move or $4 out of that move, right? It's going to be a significantly smaller amount. And that's really all scalping is, right? Scalping isn't an entry method. It's not an exit method. It's not anything. It just means you're looking to profit off of very small moves within the entire day's ATR. That's all, right? When you're talking now, so day trading technically goes into a different characteristic. If you're going to define a day trader, most day traders, if you went to like the NYSE or if you went to like SMB and you're asking them like what constitutes a day trader, they're going to tell you basically an intraday swing trader, right? Swing trading is, going day to day to day. A day trader is about as close as you can get to swing trading, right? You're a day trader. You hold your position all day, right? That's why they call it a day trader. Right. So if you're scalping, you are a scalper. You happen to make money during the daytime, but you are a scalper, not a day trader. Right. Day trading is a style, right? Not a classification. I am a day trader, right? I don't scalp, I day trade, right? I buy positions near what is the calculated high or the calculated low, S3R3, and I plan on running the entire range generically across for, my NQ trade, which I would love to show you guys the NQ trade I nailed. That one was a beautiful day trade. I got over my profit target, took that one off, and it still kept running. I wish I had held that one longer. Oh, hold on. I missed. All right, let's see. I missed one. Oh, ATR. How you calculate ATR. So there's a couple methods for calculating ATR. So we're going to segment the difference between ATR and ADR, right? So average trading range versus the average daily range. And that's a very, very big difference. And what we want is the ATR, the average trading range, not the average daily range. The average daily range is how much this moves generically within the day. We want to see how it moves during the entire session. So what we do is the industry standard, right? So if you look at TOS, you'll notice my ATR matches TOS and all the other ones. The industry standard is a 14-day look back, right? And you look at the session high and the session low. Right. So for instance, if pre-market high is higher than the high of the day's high after the market opened, we're going to use pre-market's high. Right. If pre-market low is lower than the day's low, we're going to use the pre-market low. Right. It's the true range, Sebastian. That's another way to say it. Right. We say average trading range is the common vernacular, but you're 100% right. If you were to classify it down to what it was originally called, it's average true range, right? But we say average trading range is vernacular, but average true range is technically correct, right? So average trading range and average true range are synonyms, right? Average daily range is not, right? Average daily range is in fact different, right? Your average daily range is your high to your low, which includes all time frames within. So if our extended trading hours go from midnight to midnight, it's any high or low within the extended trading hours. Once you take profit, should you move your stop loss to break even? Forever okay, that was a question to UYG. Let's see. I find Fibonacci levels to work extremely well. Yeah, Fib levels are great. So Camarilla pivot points use a Fibonacci style calculation in them, which is one of the reasons I like them so much. What do you do if the price turns towards your stop loss after it's giving you some profit? I don't take profit off unless I hit my full target. UYI. So I go for full moves, right? So I'm going to hit my target or I'm going to get nothing. Right. So and most of the time that's 3R. If it comes all the way back, so if it's at 3 times my risk and it comes all the way back and stops me out, no big deal. Right. Yep. 14-day look back, session high to session low. That's your ATR, true range. But I don't partial. I think partialing is horrible. So every time you take 50% off your position, it has to go twice as far. You guys hear me here? Is this thing on? Right? Every time you take half off your position has to go twice as far to make the same amount of money. Right? So if you're risking $100 and then it gets to $200 profit and you take half off, so that now you're at 100 to 100, you have to go to 4R before you're going to get another $200 that you can take 100 off of. If you take that off, you're going to have to go to 8R before you can get another $200 to take 100 off. You hear me? Right? Every time you dilute that position, you have to go twice as far. How many of you in here are getting 8R trades? Anybody in here 8R trades? Distance wise? You guys hitting this thing and getting 8R trades distance wise? Nope. No? Nobody? Nobody's getting 8R trades distance wise? Me either, actually. Let me put my hand down. I'm not getting 8R trades distance wise either. Right? So why are you going for 8R? Right? Yay! 8R losses. Raytrix, excellent. Excellent. No, not excellent. But how many of you are getting 8R moves on the regular? None of us are, right? None of us are. So why are we partialing? If you partial, you have to go for an 8R move, right? Why not just go for 3R and take it all off? Just go for 3R, 4R, take the whole position off, right? Like just be done. By the time you're done, 2R, half off, 4R, half off, 8R, half off. It stops me out. It's $300, right? It'd be like the same amount of money, but you sat in a position managing it. Now, if you're adding and exiting and adding and exiting and adding and exiting, okay, I'm not talking about that, right? If you take a partial and then when it pulls back up, you add in. Now, for the record, I found adding insanely difficult. Still to this day, my best positions are always where I get in. It is very rare that I can now make that position better by adding into it. You know what I mean? It's just not something that really ever seems to work. Anytime I average into my position, it always wicks up, takes out my average, and then keeps going. Right. So at this point, it's like if I've got the high of day, why not just leave it on high of day? You know what I mean? Just keep it up there. Right. So Raytrix, this is a scalping technique, right? Adding and partialing is a scalping technique, right? Now you can add into day trades, right? But most day traders don't add, right? Scalpers add, right? Day traders generically don't do that. Right? Day traders are concerned about levels, right? We're concerned about areas of significance. We're watching buying versus selling. You're looking at larger time frames, right? We're trying to do intraday swings, basically, right? We want to go from discount to premium on the entire day. It's an entirely different methodology, right? So that it goes into. So, okay. As we're getting a little towards the end of our session and we start to wrap a little bit, I want to talk to everyone in here. Do I have any people in here from Florida or near Florida? Do I have any of my Florida people in here? I'm from Florida, by the way. Have a pretty good lag on the chat today because it takes quite a while to see responses. Let me refresh this chat. There we go. So we have no Florida traders in here at all, huh? I feel like taking a small partial could help keep your FOMO under control. You already realized the small. So Sebastian, I don't disagree, but for me, like that's more of a psychological problem that I would rather see you handle than placate it or crutch it using partials. You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? Like why, you know, we need to get to the root of why you're taking perfectly good trades that you get into that are good trades from the right area, right? And then you don't have the ability, you know, you need to take it off. And so one of the things with day trading or scalping in this instance is there is a certain level of getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? It is uncomfortable all the time when you're stock trading, right? It really is. But yeah, I agree with you though. I think in the beginning it certainly can help, but inevitably I want to work it out. Okay, well, we don't have that many Florida traders in here, so like one, which I find amazing So for anyone who has some spare time, July 12th, I'm having a small get together in St. Augustine, in my hometown. I've already got about 12 or 13 of some of my trading buddies and friends that are already planning on coming in. I ended up getting a pretty nice deal on the little restaurant that I'm going through there, as far as like a good room, and I've got a little bit more space than I thought I would have. So I was going to just open it up to you guys and see if anybody wants to come hang out with me on July 12th. So kind of, if you end up being in the area, St. Augustine around the 12th, we're gonna have, spend a day hanging out, just talking trading, talking stocks, and then we're gonna hit the beach, and then we got a nice restaurant we're gonna all hang out with, and then go out for drinks afterwards. It's nothing fancy, it's nothing trading, it's just a meetup, just to get together with me and some of my mentees and people. Absolutely, Raytrix, me and my mentees and stuff. So if y'all are interested in coming by, there actually is I should have had that ready. If you go by my social, you'll see that I have a sign up link that's there. It's a free event. So obviously food and beverage is on your own bill. But I'm paying for the venue and stuff like that. So I'll take care of that. But if you come and do your own food and your own drink, we can hang out, chat, and have a lot of fun. So if anyone has time to come by and do that, I'd love to have you in there and have you come by and hang out with me. So anybody in Florida or Georgia, Southeast, fly in. I mean, I can't afford to buy you a ticket, Raytrix, but if you want to fly in and hang out with us, I'd love to have you here. So cool. Oh yeah, you're right. It's not blurred out on this version. Thank you. Oh well. There's not that much money in there. You can go have that account if you want it. Raytrix, that should happen next year. I think there's pretty much I think there's a what do you call it? I think there's going to be like an annual pilgrimage, if you will. So okay, I'm doing paper trading and I started over trading unintentionally, was aiming for 3 trades. Bernie. So it's not time, Michael, real quick. Michael, then Bernie. Michael, it's not about time, it's about distance, right? There are day trades that happen very quickly, right? But it's about how far you're going is what makes it a day trade, right? Like if the ATR is $50, a day trade is going to get about $40 out of that 50. I mean, it's going to be a solid long move, right? Where you're going to get a good target, right? But that can happen very quickly, right? And just like a scalp can take a really long time, right? A scalp is specifically the opposite of that, right? If there's a 50 ATR, you're going to look to get your profit in $10 within the $10, right? So this is TradingView HCam right here. All you got to do is just go up to the indicators and type in Camarilla pivot plays. This one right here. And that'll get you all my cams. I also, adaptive ATR limits is also dope. I'd recommend that. Okay, so as we get ready to wrap up, I want to finish off with Bernie as we wrap this session. So Bernie, can I give you a pro tip? I've worked with maybe 100 traders over the past 5 years. I do not know any of them that make money over trading. So I'm just going to throw that out there, right? I don't know any successful traders, especially smaller account traders that I've worked with that have made money over trading, right? All of my traders that I work with make all their money taking 1 or 2 trades a day. Right. I really don't know any consistently profitable traders that just rock and roll unless you have a really big bank account and you can really draw down for a long time. And then when you hit it, you can hit it really hard and make the money back. But even then, I'm very, very nervous for that trader on a regular basis. right? One day away from blowing up your account kind of stuff, right? And that's not what we're here. We're here for day traders for life, right? I want us to be doing this 20 years down the road, 30 years down the road, right? It's you will notice as you go through your charts, Ray tricks to support. You will notice as you go through your stuff that on all your winning days, your big grain days, they're never days you took more trades. Just look, right? Just look. It's never the days you're taking more trades. It's always the day you took one trade and stopped, right? One trade, two trades, lost the second trade, you stopped. Anytime you get into 3 trades, 4 trades, 5 trades, very unlikely you're green. And once you get past that 4th or 5th trade, very unlikely the amount of money you're going to put in is going to have enough power to get you back out. So, and at this point, you have to recognize the fact that you're not making money, right? So something's wrong with the market or something's wrong with you, right? But it's one of the two, or else you would be making money, right? And now you're slinging more shots into an obviously dead market that's choppy, or an obviously dead you that's not managing your risk properly. Something's wrong here. And over trading is generically the easiest way to figure out something is wrong, right? If you're firing into your trades and you're doing it very regularly over and over again like that, you're really more like gambling than trading. You know what I mean? You're just picking an area and you're just going to spam it until eventually it goes in your direction. And if you don't have a big enough bank account to handle the spamming, right? And don't forget Monte Carlo fallacy to wrap, right? There's always an assumption that at some point you will be right. That's not true, right? You can lose money indefinitely, right? So if you're in a day where you find that every time you push that button, stuff isn't going right, that's a perfectly good cue to stop pushing the button. Right. So I hope everybody enjoyed this session. Don't forget likes, shares, loves, all that stuff. I am going to start working on speaking of the issues you're having right now with overtrading, I am going to try and have our in-house psychologist, Dr. V, come on with me maybe tomorrow. So if you guys want to see more of that, make sure you're going in. If you'd like to have a psychologist come in and talk with you on the regular, maybe we can figure that out. So I hope you all have a great trading day, and I'll talk to you all soon. Keep it green, people. Bye.